Alright, let us continue. Thank you everyone for your patience. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. As I hope all of you are as well. What do we do? Locked it down, but throw junk at it? Oh, gotta hit the bullseyes. Come here. Oh, now it's moving. Got it. It's definitely an interesting game. It really is. Where did you guys get all this junk in the first place? There's a guy in town named Jeff who trades his junk for snacks. Junk food for junk. Nice. Alright, up we go. So, pretty sweet security, right? He was imaginative, I'll give you that. Luca, are we sure we can trust the new recruit? I'll vouch for her. Thanks, I guess. Oh, Luca, you promised to fill me in about the Valentine warehouse.
Luca sucked in a long breath.
Like I said, there was someone there. What were they doing? I don't know, but the place was lit up and active. Maybe they were squatters? I don't think so. It seemed more organized. When the man pulled me in, I saw some sort of equipment running. Man pulled you in? Yeah, but I got away. You keep saying it was a man. They were wearing a mask, right? Yeah. And it could have been a woman. How did you get away? I grabbed a rock or something and broke their mask. They let go and I ran. Dang. That's intense. No wonder you freaked out when you saw your grandma. Yeah, that's the other part. On our way here, Beck and I saw Eris Valentine meeting with Gran, wearing the same sort of hazmat suit.
Rollo let out a low whistle.
And they weren't there for idle chit-chat. It was a proper clandestine meetup. So let me get this straight. There's an operation in full swing at the Valentine warehouse, and you were almost abducted by a strange man or woman in a protective suit, and then you saw your Gran in the same suit talking to Eris Valentine? Pretty much. I'm beginning to think this town is kinda awesome.
Rollo and Luca shot back a look.
You have to go now. Have a good evening. You too, Ami. Thank you for hanging out. No offense. And so we can logically conclude aliens or alien zombies have infiltrated the town. And their leader is your Gran, and she tried to murder you. First of all, and for the last time, there are no aliens. Second, it couldn't have been my Gran at the warehouse. I broke that person's mask to get away. The mask Gran was wearing wasn't damaged. And she's definitely hiding something. Maybe. Your Gran is weird, but she might be the most boring person in the universe. I don't know about that. All she does is sit around all day making jam. What else? What could she possibly have to hide? I don't know. We haven't talked much since she moved in. Moved in? Your Gran isn't from here? No, she came a few months back to take care of me after his mom went missing. Did you know your Gran before? Not really, no. It's been years since I'd seen her. Luca, don't take this the wrong way, but are we sure your Gran is on the up and up?
Luca gazed out the window.
I mean, I'm just saying. It sounds like strange stuff has been happening since she showed up. We could say the same thing about your family, but you're right. Luca, your Gran is hiding something, and Pa always says folks only bury stuff worth digging up. We need to investigate your house. My Gran really is hiding something. Don't you think I would have noticed by now? That's kind of the whole point of hiding something. I guess you're right. Gran's been leaving the house for hours at a time this week. I'll call you two tomorrow when the coast is clear, and we can start getting to the bottom of this. I'm always game for a good snoop. You can count me in. Okay.
Chapter 6. Secret Lair.
Ooh
Summer
boy.
forged ahead, but the nights only seemed to grow colder. Luca walked home slowly under the pale starlight, cautious to avoid any more surprises lurking in the shadows. Reaching home, he slipped quietly into bed, half dreading what they might discover the next day.
It's not that they're living somewhere that's cold, it's that there's a lot of stuff going on, like, that is making the place chilly, kind of like that big freeze ending we saw. What time is it? Also, Gran did take over the hall closet, so... Rolo, what on earth is that? That ridiculous thing on your head. Oh, this? It helps me think. You're gonna need a lot more of those. Joke all you want. We'll see who's laughing when I crack this case wide open. Ghost is clear? Yep, whatever she's been up to this week, it's been keeping her busy most of the day. Very well. The game is afoot.
Luca and Beck rolled their eyes as Rollo strutted across the room.
Wait, are they keeping it, I just noticed that the house is like a certain tone, kind of like a noir detective. If I were a Gran, where would I hide my deepest, darkest secrets? Perhaps where you might least expect it.
Rollo
Okay, it was just...
flung open the cabinet with confidence.
Aha!
He coughed as a veil of dust hit his face.
I think it's safe to assume anything that dusty isn't what we're looking for. Maybe that's what she wants you to think. Then again, any good detective knows not to trust their first hunch. First hunches are for suckers. Eureka! She's lit a fire in order to burn the evidence. She keeps that fire going every day, Rollo. Drat, it may already be too late. Just think of the mounds of documents lost to ash. Okay. I'm gonna stop you right there. Can we just think for a moment? Luca, is there anywhere Gran doesn't want you to go? Yeah. A closet upstairs. So maybe it stands to reason that we should check there first? No dice, it's locked. Well, well, well. Look who stands to reason now. I have no idea where the key is. If it really is important, then she probably keeps it with her. Anywhere else? She has her berry bushes. Who has ever thought, I'm going to take this important thing and huck it in a bush? True. Anything else? Maybe something out of the ordinary? Well, she is always worried I'll break her fancy dishware in the kitchen. That's what all grandmothers are. But it doesn't matter anyway, I can't reach the latch.
A look of realization crept onto Luca's face.
Oh.
All three kids snapped to glance at each other, then sprinted in turn toward the kitchen.
Alright, Rollo. This is your time to shine. Ah, yes. You've called upon my expert detective skills. And now I shall
Before he
proceed
could
with...
finish, Luca scrambled up Rollo's back.
Hey, this isn't my idea of detective work. Every squad needs a good lockpick. Every good lockpick needs a sturdy head to sit on. This is beneath my standing. Stop complaining and hold still. Got it. Oh yeah, they did say this was the only piece of
Crowded around
furniture.
the hutch to peer in. With the glass doors opened, a perfect porcelain display gleamed in front of them.
Please don't break her stuff, though.
Their eyes searched for anything amiss, but the only distinct feature was its impeccability.
Well, that was anticlimactic. Yeah. I don't really know what we were expecting. Like, oh hey, let me just yank on this random teacup
Beck
and...
pulled on one of the teacups. It slanted forward with a hollow click.
Oh.
The entire hutch began to rustle and slide under its own power.
Oh. Seems like your Gran has been doing some remodeling. Dude, only two types of people have secret layers. Evil masterminds and superheroes. So which one do we think she is? We're about to find out. Ooh boy. This is getting interesting. Okay, so more of an unhinged conspiracist vibe? Oh wow. Yeah, this cannot be good. Need to look around before jumping to conclusions.
Luca jostled each cabinet drawer in turn. Only one was unlocked. He fingered through the filing cabinet, pausing at a bulging folder labeled Walter.
Oh.
For a long moment, he just stared at it.
What do you got there? It's my dad. Looks like some of his old medical files. Your dad was a doctor?
Luca nodded and caressed the label with his thumb.
Well, are you gonna read it? Here, let me help.
Rollo swiped the folder from the drawer and began leafing through the pages. He whistled to himself, barely looking at the text.
How about you actually read some of it? One sec. Dense documents such as this are a lot like a cheeseburger. Best to skip straight to the middle. That's where all the meaty bits live. Wow, I had no idea we were in the presence of a preeminent scholar in dense documents and cheeseburgers. By all means, proceed.
He stopped at a page and mimed, holding up a monocle.
Ah, here we are. Follow-up examination of Terrence Wilby. Patient shows further signs of paleness and malaise. Body temperature continues to drop. He now describes soreness of muscle and joints. This is similar to the symptoms exhibited by Mrs. Wilby just a few days past. Still waiting on lab results from Joseph.
Rollo looked up with heightened surprise.
See? Creepy. Yeah, that's kind of disturbing. Who's Joseph? That's Mr. Nuncreed's name. What? Wait,
Rollo's finger traced across the page.
there's more scribbled in the margins. Could it be contagious? Mr. Wilby claims the tap water at his home has been contaminated. Perhaps environmental? Lab results only raise more questions. It's like he came back to this report later and made those notes. So it might be related to something else.
Rollo scanned through several more pages.
Here, the writing looks shaky. I just couldn't help her. This disease, or whatever it is, progresses so fast. And with his wife's passing, Terrence's condition follows close behind, exacerbated by the loss. Enough is enough. I need to take matters into my own hands.
Luca, staring blankly at the cabinet this whole time, spoke softly.
What does it say next?
Rollo rustled the folder, trying to loose more pages.
That's where it ends. What? There has to be more.
Luca frantically shoved the remaining cabinet folders, trying to find another labeled Walter.
Luca, I think that's the only one. It's alphabetical, see? What did he mean enough is enough? How did he take matters into his own hands? This is bullcrap.
Luca slammed the drawer shut.
Here.
A spider web of string connected photos of people from the town, interspersed with hastily scrawled notes.
Well, she sure has kept herself busy. Is your grand a serial killer? I'm starting to get a vibe. Don't be ridiculous. Sure, she's just tracking the movements of everyone in town. Out of the kindness of her heart. Put little symbols by some of them. Yeah, Mr. Nuncreed has a check mark. The clipboards are all inside a big circle. My mom's are both on here. Both with question marks. Gus Valentine has a question mark. Eris has a question mark that's been crossed out. Mr. Kerr has a bullseye. Uh-oh. The killer has chosen her next victim. We don't know what any of this means. Whatever it means, it's probably not good. Is that a boxing thingy? Oh my gosh, it is. Grand's ready to floor some fools. Or this is her catharsis. What do we have here? Barrels marked caution, explosive. And jam jars? There's enough jam to feed the whole town. What kind of incendiary jam is your gran making? Uh-oh. She wouldn't have had me walk around town delivering bombs. Right? Only one way to find out.
Rollo casually spun open a lid and dipped his finger in the jam.
Huckleberries.
He smacked his lips.
A hint of brown sugar. And ink? What?
Rollo plunged his hand in the jar, fishing out a soggy slip of paper.
Oh. Aha!
Rollo offered the slimy note to Luca and licked his fingers clean.
It's addressed to Mrs. Fratelli. A grand jamgram? Says, last night I used the disguise Eris provided to scout the location. The timing window should be possible. Operation Spark Plug is a go. Oh man, are they doing a heist? Whatever it is, it can't be good. So more a bombshell than a bomb, am I right? You're new here, so I'll let it slide. But I'm the bad joke guy around here. Okay, so there was a reason why the jars were labeled. Got it.
They crowded around a worn-down old map of Beacon Pines.
Whoa, this looks like a treasure map. Not every old map is a treasure map, Rollo. Yeah, but every treasure map is an old map. Can't fault that logic. Look, there's even a pathway drawn on it. Starts at the entrance to town. If we
Rollo
follow
carefully traced the path with his finger.
it leads right
He
to
jabbed down at the end point.
Town Square? That's the fountain in the middle of town. What a weird place to hide treasure. Rollo, that doesn't look like treasure to me. The end of the path on that map has the same symbol as those explosives over there. So it's not hiding treasure. A real bummer. Rollo, what's been the thing you've been excited about for the past month? The festival. Gulp. Did you just say gulp? Feels like a gulp kind of situation. Everyone would be gathered near the center of town. She's gonna blow up the festival. Not if we stop her. What was that?
Luca looked up from the map.
What was what? No, I heard it too. That was the front door. Which means someone just shut the door. Which means someone's upstairs. Shh, quiet. Hit the lights.
Beck flicked off the light, and they became statues in the dark.
Ooh, boy.
Overhead, creaking floorboards bent under slow, deliberate steps. The kids looked up, the tilt of their necks following each footfall. Then suddenly, it stopped. Without realizing, they'd been holding their breath. All three exhaled shakily and glanced at each other. A muffled male voice broke the silence.
Oh, dude. Hello?
A final few footsteps reached the entrance above them, and the voice now echoed down the stairs.
Anyone down there?
The three kids shuffled to the corners without a peep. As he began to descend the stairs, the man's voice punctuated every new step. Thump.
Yoo-hoo!
Thump.
I'm not here to hurt anyone.
Thump.
I'm just here to help. Just
Thump. At the bottom step, the man paused, squinting to search the room for signs of life.
huh? Guess it's nothing.
Rollo shifted suddenly. Luca gave him an intense, chastising look and whispered through clenched teeth.
Rollo, don't.
It was too late. Rollo was already inching toward the stairway. He screeched as he charged toward the shadowy figure.
Flaming chicken coop!
With all his weight, Rollo tackled the man to the ground.
Well, it's Mr. Tolliver. We know that. Rollo? Mysterious creepy man? Anyone there?
From the dark corner, they saw something move.
Well, I didn't know if I had it in me. There was only one way to find out. Holy crap, Rollo, that was awesome. Wait, did you just kill that person?
Luca scrambled to the hunched figure on the ground. Pressing his fingers to the man's neck, he sighed with relief.
Sure clobbered him good, Rollo. Knocked out cold.
As Beck flicked back on the light, Luca and Rollo both gasped in stereo.
Mr. Tolliver? Yeah.
Chapter 7. The interrogation of Hiram Tolliver.
Oh.
Still unconscious, Mr. Tolliver slumped heavily in a shoddy old chair. His hands were bound with rope, his feet tied with some loose string. The kids huddled in a circle, discussing their plan. One thing was certain, they couldn't just let Mr. Tolliver go. They needed to know what he was doing in Luca's house.
Ooh.
After some deliberation, it was decided.
Oh. Well.
They'd run the classic good cop, hard cop interrogation. Rollo brandished a steely gaze. I've got this. Read about it 100 times. Rollo swaggered past the chair which propped up the slumping Hiram Tolliver. Without even looking at his captive, he began with a long, blustery drawl.
Well, Mr. Tolliver.
Mr. Tolliver remained motionless. Rollo spun around to face him. He'd clearly expected to rouse Mr. Tolliver with his booming voice.
Mr. Tolliver.
Beck and Luca gave each other an unsure glance. Rollo slammed his fist on the table.
I said, Mr. Tolliver.
He grabbed the table lamp and beamed it onto the unconscious face. Mr. Tolliver groaned and slowly lifted his head. He recoiled with a muddled, weary squint.
What in the world?
The chair wobbled as he attempted to straighten up.
Who? Who's there?
Mr. Tolliver could only make out rough shapes through the glaring light. With a gruff tone, Rollo hoped to both conceal his voice and intimidate.
I'll be asking the questions here, punk. Now, hold on, let's just calm down. Oh, I am calm. Calm as a carrot in dirt. As for you, looks like you're sweating.
The doubtful expression on Beck and Luca's faces transformed into awe.
We can do this my way, or... Well, let's just say I've never needed another way.
Rollo, hitting his stride, was now channeling every detective trope his memory could recall. He slammed the table again.
Now dance. What? I don't even...
Mr. Tolliver's voice became desperate. He was nearly in tears.
You've tied me down. How on earth could I dance? Dance with your mouth, punk. Spill the beans. What are you doing poking around this house? I'm here to help Juniper. Make sure everything's ready. Oh, so you're in cahoots with Gran. Gran?
Mr. Tolliver was in a daze, now more confused than ever.
Gonna help her blow up the festival, eh? Blow up the festival? Good lord.
He shook his head, feeling more and more dizzy.
No, you've got it all wrong. Where is she now? She's headed to the source. Source? What's the source? It's where
His voice faded to a whisper.
the town began. Where it all began. What is Operation Sparkplug?
With that, Mr. Tolliver passed out cold.
Oh.
Rollo swung around with a repentant grimace.
Dang, Rollo. I think you went a little too hard on him. What did he say about the source? It's where the town began? We need more information. Yeah, but we better not push Mr. Tolliver any farther. Is there anyone else who might know more? What about the History Museum? It just got set up for the festival. Nah, that tent was put up by the Valentines. Everything they do is just a bunch of fluff to glorify themselves. Is there anything more reliable? The library. If there's any information about the source thing, Kato can help us find it. Let's go get some answers. Oh boy. Things are getting interesting. This is a dang nice library. Thanks, we work hard on it. Aren't you a little too adorable to be a librarian? Kato hung out here so much, eventually they gave him a set of keys. I just keep an eye on the place for Mrs. Novak sometimes. They got you working for free? It's quiet and I get access to all the books I can read. What more could a person want? Fair enough. What can I do for you all? We need a favor. I already told you and Rolo. I can't put you any higher on the wait list for the next Hank Atomic. And if you're here with more candy, I'll have you know I can't be bought. Call it a personal code of conscience. Actually, we're looking to do some research. Now you're speaking my language. What are you looking for? That's the thing, we sorta don't know. What do you got on the history of the town? There's the county record archives. What's in those? Births, deaths, newspaper clippings, stuff like that. Pretty boring reading. But they do go all the way back to when the town was founded. Great, we'll start there.
Chapter 8.
Wow.
6 feet under, 3 towns over.
This is going far.
The kids spent the rest of the afternoon combing through dusty piles of old county records, desperately searching for anything that could help them make sense of Mr. Tolliver's cryptic utterance. Luca tried to shake the thought of Gran's basement, but his focus wavered. Explosives, messages hidden in jam, dossiers on various town figures, and a corkboard threaded with photos. Gran was the only family he had left. He still couldn't bring himself to believe the worst. But the old map with the symbol of explosives in town square made that difficult. As the sun began to set, the kids were no closer to the truth.
After reading more records, my eyeballs are gonna pop. We have to keep digging. If I dig another word, I'm gonna end up in one of those dadgum death records. Rollo Cotter lived a full and wonderful life till he read so much boring crud that his brain oozed out of his ears.
Rollo shut his book with an assertive nod.
You've got a better idea. Spit it out. You sound like my sister. Keep pushing your luck, pal. And it won't be boring county records that kill you. I'll put you in the obituaries myself.
Rollo muttered under his breath.
You're a county record. Oh! Really? That's the best you've got? When I'm done with you, you'll be the footnote in history. Just
Beck
like...
slammed her finger down on the open page before glancing down to read.
J. Hartford here. I'd love to see you try. Hey. We're all a little tired here. Let's just take a minute and...
Something tickled the back of Luca's mind.
Wait, what was that name back? In the obit? J. Hartford. From the Brookville Tribune 8 years ago. It can't be right. What is it? J. Hartford. That's my grand's name, Juniper Hartford. What? Maybe there were 2 J. Hartfords? Mrs. Hartford is survived by her young daughter, E. Hartford. My mom's name is Eleanor. Okay, this is getting creepy. Your gran is 6 feet under, 3 towns over. And who am I living with?
The question hung in the air.
Gosh. Alright, gang, I gotta close up for the night.
Beck rubbed her eyes.
How late is it? Almost 10. Oh crap, Pa is gonna kill me. I gotta go. Yeah, my parents will be worried sick. Okay, let's meet up as early as we can at the festival tomorrow. What are you gonna do about the unconscious man in your basement? I'll think of something.
Luca's heart was pounding as he approached the house. If he was lucky, Gran, or whoever it was, hadn't gotten back yet. And of course, there was Mr. Tolliver tied up and unconscious in the basement.
Yeah.
Dealing with him would be the first order of business. Luca shook out his arms to calm his nerves before entering.
Oh.
He held perfectly still, tempering his breath, and to listen closely. She was asleep.
Or was she?
His only hope was that she hadn't found Mr. Tolliver before dozing off.
Oh boy. This is getting really interesting. Oh. Oh no.
Mr. Tolliver was nowhere to be seen.
Maybe he woke up, escaped from his bindings, and left without a trace?
Or maybe Gran knew everything.
What do I do?
Luca's hungry stomach groaned. Not realizing it, he'd gone the entire day without eating.
Well. Okay, I can figure this out. I just need a little brain food.
Luca rushed over to the pile of jam jars, unscrewed one, and shoveled a handful into his mouth.
I'm afraid your jam delivery will be
He
delayed.
flipped the lid to read the label.
Mr. Nuncreed. Okay, now I can think. So if Gran knows we tied up Mr. Tolliver, I'm screwed. If she doesn't know, then I need to play it cool. Guess the only option is to go to bed and act as if nothing is wrong. Gran will think Mr. Tolliver finished what he was sent to do and left when he was done. Oof. Oh man. It keeps getting more and more interesting, and now things are definitely ramping up. Like, what the heck? Ah, she's gone! Gran? Okay, stick to the plan. Go to bed and play it cool.
As Luca climbed the final stair, the emotion of the day dragged heavily on him. With each consecutive step, his legs weakened. His stride began to falter. He tried to grab for the railing to steady himself. Something was wrong.
Come on, legs. Just a few more steps.
Luca groaned and tried to move. His limbs might as well have been bolted to the ground.
Oh no.
Through numb lips, he mumbled just before falling asleep.
The germ? Oh! There was a drug in his jam? Sweet boy. What did you get yourself into? Rest now and let me handle everything. Ooh, boy.
Chapter 9. A speech to end all speeches.
Well, that's a forebearer.
Luca awoke to find himself face down in bed. He moaned into his pillow. Why would Gran drug him?
You ate the drugged jam, child.
Or rather, why was she trying to drug Mr. Nuncreed?
I mean, he is a bit of a creep, and he's kind of suspicious for one reason or another.
Shaking the questions from his woozy head, Luca snapped back to the matter at hand.
The festival. Ooh, boy, things continue to get interesting. I mean, I guess I feel at the very least we're gonna get some answers one way or the only thing I've tried to look up and be spoiler free about this is that we've realized that there are so many different endings, but that there's also a true ending. I haven't looked up what it takes to reach it, other than I guess trying everything at all the turning points. Still. And how many chapters this game has, which is 11. We'll see. Where have you been? Gran put something in the jam. Yeah, we know. Secret messages for secret conspirators. Not this one, the one intended for Mr. Nuncreed. Put me to sleep. Whoa, ho, ho. Sly devil. I think she's trying to remove him from the equation. He might be in danger. Have you found anything? We looked, but we haven't seen anything odd. Your Gran is nowhere to be found. And Mr. Nuncreed is just loafing around waiting for the speech. What speech? Mayor Gus just got up to the podium. Everyone is gathering at the stage. Let's get moving. Yeah, we still haven't seen what the sign or the speech is going to be like, and the whole town's here, too.
Augustus Valentine nervously wiped his brow.
Ooh. Hello, Beacon Pines. I'm Augustus Valentine, your mayor, and I suppose you already know that. Oh yes, before we get started, I just wanted to take a moment to recognize someone who couldn't be here today. This town wouldn't be where it was today without my father, Sharper Valentine. So I thought we could begin with a round of applause befitting such a great man. Even that's more than the old codger deserved.
Gus cleared his throat and awkwardly loosened his tie.
Right, where was I?
William Kerr bounded on the stage with the energy of a preacher at a big tent revival.
Gus Valentine, everyone.
He gave Gus a hearty slap on the back and motioned him off the stage.
Let's hear it for our mayor. What a great turnout. Aw, heck, I didn't prepare anything. But I suppose I could say a few words. Would be ashamed to waste such a beautiful podium. Is this guy wanting to be mayor, or is he wanting to be shadow mayor? Because I have a feeling about him.
Mr. Kerr pulled a thick stack of note cards out from his vest.
Yeah, didn't have anything prepared. Yet again, another lie. Community, conviction, commitment. These are the things we celebrate at Perennial Harvest. For us, these are the pillars of the bridge to a better tomorrow. But I think it's time to add a new pillar. Change. Change is a powerful thing. It's inexorable, unavoidable, and undeniable. And I am dadgum thankful for it. Change is the reason we're all together today. It's hard for me to believe that it was only 4 years ago what fate brought me here. A simple business trip which brought me to a small town which would change my life forever.
Mr. Kerr took a moment to survey the crowd.
You know what?
He wiped away a single tear.
From the second I set foot in Beacon Pines, something about this place has held me captive. You see, change represents opportunity. It represents potential. It was change that helped me realize the potential of this place. To see that the people of this town, despite suffering great loss, still held on to the things that made them special.
He thumped the podium to emphasize each word.
Community, conviction, commitment. Change.
Mr. Kerr nodded confidently, biting his lip. The crowd was silent, in rapt attention.
Fate made a perfect match that day. Nothing is more important to you all than community. And Perennial Harvest is a community first and foremost.
Mr. Kerr methodically made eye contact with each section of the crowd.
The only way you made it through the foul harvest was an unshakable conviction. A conviction that a better tomorrow was just over the horizon. Perennial Harvest was founded on that conviction that we are that horizon. Ugh. This festival is a symbol of our commitment to each other.
His voice began to build to a crescendo.
We now walk hand in hand into a future that we will shape together. And that is what change is all about. Grabbing the future by the scruff of the neck and making things happen. Change is a choice. I'm tickled pink that we will all be making that choice together. How great is that? Just imagine what we can accomplish. What was that? I think that was whatever they were going to blow up, but...
The crowd began to look around nervously.
Don't worry, a little thunder isn't going to ruin this day. Everyone remain calm.
Mr. Kerr quickly flicked through his note cards.
Where was I? Through all of my travels, I have learned one true thing. One always reaps what they sow. We have all planted a lot of good in this town. And so it is with a happy heart that I can proclaim,
He raised his hands up to the heavens.
our harvest awaits! Oh.
At that moment, a merciless wall of impossibly cold air ripped through the crowd, instantly freezing everyone and everything it touched.
Oh no.
For a man like William Kerr, this was a fitting way for things to end. On a stage, with an entire town frozen in rapt attention for the rest of time. The end.
Oh dear.
There's that ice again! Whenever I think we're getting close, it comes along and ruins everything. Maybe we should just quit? Maybe you should just close the book, walk away, and never think of me again. No,
Wow.
I don't mean that. We got a little closer this time. We just need to try again. Please.
Hey. Oh, we have more of these. Let me just look these over. That's fight or flight. Still have a couple of answers that might still give us answers to this, so I guess we'll see. Go back here. Oh, we did the hard cop. Let's try sly, I guess.
They'd run the classic good cop, sly cop interrogation. Luca and Rollo ducked behind a barrel, leaving Beck to her task.
Ah. Oh, so what each of them... This is what each of them would do.
With a few crisp snaps, she roused Mr. Tolliver.
What? What's going on here? You're that Mudwill girl. Please call me back. Sorry about all this.
Mr. Tolliver looked down and shifted a bit, testing his restraints.
It seems there's been a mix-up. You see, I'm down here for the same reason you are. Juniper sent you here?
Beck caught herself before letting the surprise manifest on her face. She'd already gotten him to reveal his relation to Gran. This was gonna be easy.
You know how Juniper is with precautions. Operation Sparkplug has us all on edge. Guess she thought you needed some backup. But she sent a child? What better way to avoid prying eyes? Who would suspect a kid? I suppose that makes sense.
Mr. Tolliver wriggled a bit in his restraints.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Beck quickly removed the ropes.
That had to be uncomfortable. A little, yeah. But you'll understand. We never know who to trust in this town.
Mr. Tolliver rubbed the growing knot on his forehead.
This is really getting interesting. We're having to go back in order to get more information that we still haven't. We've had two endings with the ice where the whole town freezes over after that explosion, which I assume is from Juniper and company. See, very true. So it turns out we're both here
Beck
to
twirled her hand, as if to prompt Mr. Tolliver to finish her thought.
destroy the evidence.
Beck shook her head and clicked her tongue.
Yep, the old gal is nothing if not thorough.
Mr. Tolliver let out an amused huff in agreement.
She sure is. Can't blame her, though. If anyone were to find out that we're going to destroy the source, well, we both know how bad that might be. No one will know anything once I finish cleaning things up down here.
Beck was on a roll now, playing Mr. Tolliver like a fiddle.
You sure you can finish this up on your own? Juniper trusted me for a reason. You can leave the rest to me. Good, there is one more loose end I'll go work on. Loose end? Oh, it's nothing really. The other day I had the radio on scan while stocking the candy shelf. Wouldn't you know it, I intercepted an odd phrase in a perennial harvest transmission. Underground secrets. That's ominous. I think it might be a password, but Juniper dismissed it. Said it wasn't mission critical. What's the password for? We don't know. We have a password and know where to put it? Gotta mean something, right? Good thinking. You should probably go work on that. I've got this under control. That's a relief. Between you and me, this basement gives me the willies.
Heading for the stairs, Mr. Tolliver hesitated and turned to Beck with a puzzled look. She grinned and gave him a peppy wave. With a shrug, he continued up the stairs, whistling a jaunty tune.
You guys catch that? Sure did. This whole time, Mr. Tolliver's had a candy shelf, but all he ever sells us is apples.
Beck blinked slowly in disappointment.
The password, Rollo. Well, sure, but once things are back to normal, I'll be having a word with Mr. Tolliver about that candy shelf. Fine. In the meantime, I've got an idea.
She turned to the table and began tearing small scraps of paper.
He said he heard a password on the radio. Any good spy transmission is never what it seems.
Beck marked each scrap of paper and leaned back.
We just need to find the hidden meaning. Okay. What's another word for underground? Buried? Cover? Could it be a cover-up? Maybe it's one of those each letter is a number thingies. So U would be 21. N would be 14. D would be... Ooh, it's an anagram. Nuncreed's drugstore. Dang!
Luca and Beck looked at Rollo with amazement.
Rollo, that was incredible. Well, it's either that or Kren's nude drug store. Yeah, I think you were right the first time. How did you do that? What can I say? I love ciphers. Well, I guess we know where to go next. I don't trust Nuncreed, but what else are we gonna do? Oh. Ma'am? What are you doing out here? You scared me half to death. Sorry. You kids haven't seen Mr. Tolliver around, have you? Nope. He's got me waiting around like the last slice of pie. I swear that man would be late to his own funeral. Again, Nuncreed has been pretty dang sus, so... We still don't know what his deal is. You're late, Augustus. Sorry, sister. Was caught up with work. Work? You? I had a few more details to lock down for the festival. Oh, what do you have to report? What is this insipid town festival really about? I think
Gus looked around nervously.
Mr. Kerr really does just want to do something good for the town. He's actually a pretty nice guy. You should spend some time with him. I didn't pull strings installing you as mayor so that you could make friends. Aha! I kind of thought he was an install. Or a plant. Your job is to help me figure out what Kerr and Perennial Harvest's true intentions are with this town. We have a responsibility. This is our father's town. Was. Excuse me? This was our father's town. He's gone, Eris, and he isn't coming back. Father left us with nothing but problems. Mr. Kerr came here and offered to help us. We've accepted that help. We didn't agree to them turning Father's warehouse into a toxic dumping ground. Oh. That is just a temporary arrangement. The glow can be seen from our darned backyard. They're dumping their nasty little secrets on us. When all this inevitably goes wrong, who do you think will be blamed?
Eris's cry hung in the air.
We have a new choice to make now, sister. This town is going to change whether we like it or not. Are we going to choose to be a part of that future? Or be forgotten in the past? It's a shame. Father named you Augustus, but you will always just be a Gus. Dang. I'm guessing like Augustus, like Caesar Augustus or something, but still. I'm also kind of noticing that they're both like wearing similar suits as well. Good night, Eris. I'll see you at breakfast tomorrow. It's getting late, children. Oh boy. Alright, book lady, what you got for me? Knowledge, he spat with a sneer. There exists a gulf between knowing something and being able to do a dang thing about it. I do hate it when the villain makes a good point. Oof. Oh.
Solomon stood proudly at the entrance to the drugstore, holding a brown bag overflowing with black licorice.
Hey, Solomon. We're looking for Mr. Nuncreed. Is he still in there? I'm afraid not. Then where'd you get the candy from? You might say we have an arrangement.
Solomon shoveled a surprising amount of licorice into his mouth.
Sometimes it's the small pleasures in life. Though we might not always have family to rely on, licorice has never let me down. Well, I can't say licorice would be my first choice. Whatever floats your boat. You could tell a lot about a person by the choice of their confection. Oh, yeah, I guess. I like sour gobs. I'm certain you do. I've always wondered why Mr. Nuncreed kept licorice in stock. You must eat enough of it to make it worthwhile. There are many ways to earn loyalty. For some, it's as easy as cold hard cash. I mean, he's not wrong. Well, he's right. It's locked. There's gotta be more clues. Okay, let's see. Phone booth? Yep. Gotta deal with the phone booth. Have you ever seen anyone actually use this thing? And the music's dying out. That's Mr. Nuncreed, no.
Beck cupped her hands on the glass to peek inside.
That is not a normal phone booth. It's got like a blinky keypad. How would there be a blinky keypad? Friends Nude Rug Store. I mean, underground secrets. Password.
Beck flung open the door and they all squeezed in.
Alright, let's see here.
Luca cracked his knuckles and entered the letters into the keypad.
Underground secrets. Sounds like that did something. Great, now what? I guess we... Ah!
The inside of the phone booth dropped loose from its shell. Without even the space to panic, they closed their eyes, held their breath, and accepted their fate. Suddenly, the chaotic descent slowed to an effortless landing. It was unclear where they ended up, but at least it was solid ground. The air was stagnant and smelled vaguely of chlorine.
I knew it! You knew that there was a secret hub full of strange tubes under the phone booth? Of course I did. Didn't I say that? No. Definitely thought it. Also, creepy music is back. Luca, do you remember when I said how cool it would be if the trans-dimensional conduits from Hank Atomic issue number 12 were real? Rollo, at one point or another, you've said that about every technology. Every technology ever discussed in Hank Atomic. That's why I'm such a good predictor. It looks like each of these has something written on them. And my nose so itchy. I see a hazmat suit with a broken face mask. This suit has a broken mask. So have we found our mysterious warehouse creeper? We've at least found their hazmat suit. Walks like a Nuncreed and talks like a Nuncreed. Let's not jump to conclusions. Too late. Ugh. Alright, it just feels like I've got this fuzziness around my nose that won't go away. Yeah, this is getting very, very interesting. Perennial Harvest main office. That's where my mom works. What does she do? Science stuff. Is she involved in all of this? We just moved here. How could she be involved? True. Valentine Fertilizer Warehouse. Oh. Isn't that where you almost got snatched? Yeah. Why would Perennial Harvest have a tube go into the old Valentine place? This is starting to feel like something big. Mining Operations Alpha. Oh. You guys have mines here? Not that I know of. This town is all farms and fertilizer. And a series of tubes. Always says you can only trust a miner up to the point when they hit gold. Not sure how that wisdom applies in this exact situation. That's the thing about Pa, you don't realize what he means until it's too late. Well, that's a lot of buttons. Stand aside, Earthlings. I've read enough Hank Atomic to know my way around sci-fi tech. Whale.
Rollo's hands hovered over the field of blinking buttons.
Eeny, meeny, miny. Rollo, what did you do? Nothing. I didn't even mow yet. Oh, I think someone's coming down or something. What was that? Hide. Where? There's nothing but weird tubes down here. Just get back. Oh. Yeah. I don't think so, Mr. Nuncreed. News. Ads keep popping up in the good spots. You all need to come with me now. We aren't going anywhere with you. Not until we get some answers. Mr. Underground Secrets. I told them it was an absurd password. But they love anything that makes them feel clever. They who? That's no matter. If I can keep you hidden until after the festival, I might be able to save your skins. What? We don't care about our skins. Hold on now, I like my skin. This all stops now, Nuncreed.
Joseph waited for a moment in silence.
You sound just like him. Who? Walt. You don't get to talk about my dad. You know, your father and I were friends back before.
He gestured toward the strange tubes.
All of this. That's a lie. It's true, I used to bounce you on my knee. What happened? Same thing that always happens. Reality, complications, life. We were a team, Walt and I. An idealistic doctor and a bright-eyed pharmacist. Both hell-bent on helping folks. So you were his sidekick? No, we were partners. He helped the patients and I helped him. Yep, total sidekick.
Nuncreed let out a growl of a sigh.
Luca, I need you to know this. I need someone to know this. One day, Sharper Valentine comes to us. Says he's got an opportunity. He'd found something he didn't quite understand. And he was willing to pay us both handsomely to help him understand it. And my dad said no. Your father and I both believed in helping people. But the thing I could never get him to understand was, it's a lot easier to help others if you help yourself now and then. Classic sidekick into villain plotline. Walt loved being righteous almost more than he loved his family. He was wrong about one thing, though. When he begged me not to take Valentine's offer, he said, Joseph, if a person says yes one time to Sharper Valentine, he'll make sure they keep on saying yes to him until the day he's dead and gone.
He shook his head wistfully.
Ooh. Sharper's long gone, but he's still got me saying yes. Is there a point to this sob story? Not really, no. Just an old man trying to delay what needs doing.
Nuncreed took a menacing step towards the children.
I tried to keep you safe. I tried to keep you and Juniper out of this. But you forced my hand.
Luca began to laugh.
What? You really don't know? My Gran isn't out of this. She's been scheming right under your nose. Juniper? Seems like she's planning on crashing the town's party. She's going to disrupt the festival? Why would she?
The color drained from Nuncreed's face.
How does she know? Apparently she knows a lot of things. What? Let's just say this isn't the only underground lair we've busted into today. It's true. And honestly, hers is way cooler. She's got maps and explosives and bad intentions, big man.
Nuncreed grabbed Luca by the shoulders. His eyes were frantic.
You need to tell me what she's going to do right now. She doesn't understand what it is she's messing with. Tell me now. She's in danger, boy. I don't know. She had a map of the mark on the fountain in town square. The fountain? But why would...
A jolt of realization struck Mr. Nuncreed.
She knows about the source? What the heck is the source? She tries to destroy the source. It could catalyze and... Dear God, she's going to freeze us all. You all need to run. Run where? Away. As far away from this town as you can get. Head west and don't look back. That did not go how I expected. So... We're totally following him, right? Totally. See you on the other side. Whale. You good? Yep. I love this town. Oh my gosh.
Chapter 8. The Cold, Hard Truth.
Well, yeah, Book Lady is totally a precursor to what's going on. But we are going to go ahead and run ads. They've already ran, which is good since we've come to a good stopping point. But stand up, stretch, go to the bathroom. We're going to try to keep continuing until we get to like the end or a good end or something. We'll see. But yeah, break time and we will be back. Thank you all for your patience. Let us keep going.
Beck leapt up, allowing the suction to yank her into the dark. Dimness eclipsed around her like the shutter of a camera as she seemed to cover great distance in mere moments. Her only points of reference were glints of upcoming turns, which approached with frightening speed, only to carom her gracefully along. She heard the tinny, distant echoes of Rollo's glee. Once she stopped fighting against it, the ride was impossibly smooth. Then, all of a sudden, as if minutes had passed in an instant, light blazed into view. A burst of wintry air snuffed across her face, and she was flung out into the cold.
Oh. Yeah, it's very cold here. That was intense? Yeah. I think I might have parted with some fluids in there. Any idea where we are? Somewhere cold. Doesn't look like it got on any of us. Doesn't feel like we traveled that far. Where did it all go? This place sucks. Why would anyone even want to blow up something out here? And one way to find out, I suppose. Gotta catch up to Nuncreed. I think he went this way. Ooh boy. This is definitely a change of scenery. Kinda looks like there was a vehicle here before. That kinda looks like a crack. Knows him what it is. Alright. Been around for charms. Wait, what? This looks familiar, yeah? Maybe we can clear off the snow. No time, Nuncreed's getting away. What the heck? Okay, this is starting to feel really familiar. I may not be the most well-versed on all things Beacon Pines, but this does look like some sort of frozen replica of town. Ah, I've got it. It's so obvious now. Mr. Nuncreed is an alien. Rollo, stick with me here. This species can only live in sub-zero temperatures. Oh boy, here we go. The source is their base camp dimension, so naturally they keep it cold. We found it by traveling through those metallic wormholes back there. Their final objective? Kill us all and shapeshift into a Beacon Pine citizen of their choosing. You never really had me, but you very much lost me there. You used to get it. We should keep moving. Or you get used to it. Yeah, this is spooky. Like we were traveling through stuff. But I mean, we were traveling somewhere, but to end up somewhere that's cold and looks exactly like Beacon Pines, like what the crap? Wait. This isn't Perennial Harvest anymore.
As they rounded the corner to the frozen town square, they spotted Mr. Nuncreed inching cautiously toward a pit at its center. He held his arms out gingerly, as if approaching a beast in the wild.
Oh no.
Upon closing the distance, Luca recognized what Nuncreed was after. Gran stood confidently at the edge, one arm outstretched over the abyss. Nearby, a wheelbarrow had been emptied out. She held a lit torch, which flickered in the bitter wind.
Juniper, I don't know what you think you're doing, but I assure you this is not going to solve anything. You drop that, you've doomed this whole town. Oh, it wasn't me who's doomed this town. I've been watching you, Joseph. I know what you've done. You and your co-conspirators. Gran? What's happening? Luca, you and your friends need to leave right this moment.
Mr. Nuncreed turned back toward the kids, desperation in his eyes.
Listen to your grandma, Luca. This is between me and Juniper.
Rollo and Beck held steadfast in awe. Luca approached closer. Mr. Nuncreed spun back toward Gran, his voice growing louder.
You've got it all wrong, Juniper. Just hand over that torch. You don't understand what you're doing. How could I possibly trust you to do the right thing? Walt told me everything. He trusted you, and you betrayed that trust. Luca, did you know that this man's entire life is a lie? If it weren't for him, your father might still be alive.
Mr. Nuncreed winced with anguish. His voice hardened.
That's not true.
They both now yelled, not to each other, but at fate itself, making their peace with long-held burdens. The wind howled with encouragement.
Walt was like a brother to me. We just had different ideas about how to effect change. Very convenient that your way just happened to line your pockets. Now that's not fair.
They menaced at each other, both catching their breath. The moment balanced on a knife's edge. Amid a blur of emotions and memories, Luca's mind flooded with questions. The wind calmed, as if to give him the stage.
Oh.
And in the stillness, he began to weep. It was all just too much. Falling to his knees, Luca whimpered softly. The tears crystallized as they hit the snow. Gran stared at Luca for a moment with warm sympathy, remembering why this was all necessary.
So all makes sense soon, Luca. And everything can go back to normal. I promise.
She stiffened up and brandished the torch at Mr. Nuncreed.
You can't hide behind those people any longer, Joseph. Once their precious source is destroyed, we'll see where their loyalties fall. Juniper, don't.
Ignoring his final plea, Gran flung the torch into the deep darkness. She smiled and exhaled in relief. Mr. Nuncreed moaned in resignation. The torch echoed as it ricocheted down the hole, punctuated with a thunderous thud.
You see, Joseph, I've learned one very important lesson in life. You want things to change, then you must be willing to.
Before Gran could finish, the ground shook her to silence.
Oh.
Gran only had time to spin around and run to Luca. Her attempt to shield him, an honorable but trifling act. Unflinching love, pitted against an unthinking horror. There was no contest. Her warm embrace froze in an instant. That is where they remain, fixed in place, forever. And so, our story ends on this melancholy scene.
Holy crap.
In a town brought low by its secrets, sits the frozen statues of a misguided band of meddlers. The end. Well, that was dire. On the bright side, we finally figured out where all the ice is coming from. Now, we just need to find a way to deal with a mystic, unfathomable force of nature.
Yeah, the only path I can see forward is going back here and I guess try and chill cop. Just try all the things.
They'd run the classic good cop, chill cop interrogation.
I'll handle this. Just gotta play it cool.
Luca walked calmly to the light switch, flicking it off and on a few times. Mr. Tolliver shook his head, gathering his wits.
Golly, I sure got my bell
He
wrong.
looked over to find Luca, who returned a calming grin.
Sorry, Mr. Tolliver. This was all a big mistake. Luca, what's going on here? Why do you have me strapped down? No one's fault, really. Rolo just got a little startled. Rollo's here?
Rollo and Beck emerged from hiding to give a timid wave.
Well, alright. Mistakes happen. You kids gave old Hiram a good scare. Let's just get me out of these ropes and call it even.
Luca glanced over to Rollo and Beck, who replied with skeptical looks.
Mr. Tolliver, why are you in my grand's basement? I'm here to help, of course. Help with what? What's my gran up to? Now just cut me loose, I can show you. How do I know we can trust you?
Mr. Tolliver exhaled with disappointment.
Luca, have I ever done wrong by you? No. And since your gran moved to town, haven't I been nothing but welcoming? Yeah. So why would I turn my back on your family now? It's just... all this stuff seems pretty weird. A board with names of people from town. An archive of my dad's old disturbing patient notes.
Luca gestured to the corner.
Barrels of explosives. I can explain everything. You just need to untie me. You kids deserve an explanation.
Luca looked again to Rollo and Beck. This time they shrugged. Luca began to slowly loosen the bindings. Mr. Tolliver gently rubbed his wrists.
That's a good lad. This will all make sense in time. You're about to bolt, aren't you?
He edged imperceptibly toward the stairs as he spoke.
You see, this town has secrets, Luca. A very dark past indeed.
Before the kids had even noticed his movement, Mr. Tolliver was at the light switch.
A past that must be brought
He
to...
punctuated his final words by flicking the switch and rushing up the stairs.
light. Dang it. Son of a...
Beck darted to the wall and turned back on the lights. It was too late. Rollo confirmed what they all heard.
He just locked us down here.
Mr. Tolliver's muffled voice came from behind the door.
I wasn't lying, you know. This is for your own good. You kids just keep tight down there. And let the adults handle this.
They looked bewildered at each other.
Well, play it cool, huh? Not now, Beck.
They heard the staccato thump of quick steps exiting the house. The kids looked down in resignation.
Is this an ending?
This isn't how it goes in Hank Atomic. For some reason, they'd always assumed it was up to them to save their town. Luca opened his mouth, hoping to conjure some magical words to make this right. Only a hollow croak escaped. The end.
Dang it.
Well, we certainly aren't going to find a grand resolution to our tale locked in a basement.
Nope.
Back to the drawing board.
Dang. Well, we're getting there. Need to find whatever our path through is. I'm guessing now it's the time to use this.
Luca drew himself up and decided to take the only option they had left. Flight. He squinted down the barrel of the mission control defense cannon, aiming it through an opening in the dense tree branches. He looked up with surprise as it struck true and taut.
Wow, I can't believe that worked. Hey, Mr. Kerr! We'd love to hear your thoughts, but I'm afraid we have places to be. Come on, Iggy. See ya, jerks. Fine, we know where that leads them. This way, we'll take the tunnels. Oh boy.
Luca and Iggy winced as they sprinted through the thicket. The branches clawed at them, reluctant to give passage. After what felt like a marathon, Luca stopped in his tracks as they reached the clearing. What the? That was all he was able to say before Iggy slammed into his back. The boys tumbled down a steep decline and crashed with a wheezing thud on a surface as hard as ice.
Oh.
In fact, it was ice. Chapter 5. Signs. They stood silently, catching their breath. The sky was like sapphire. With each breath, a plume of steam escaped from Luca's lungs. Let's keep moving. Luca pulled Iggy to his feet as they gazed across a snowy terrain.
No, it's not that far from town. What the crap? Like we were just here. And now we're here in an earlier chapter. Holy heck. That was actually pretty amazing. Uh-huh. I think we lost him. Are we up in the mountains? I don't think so. If anything, we went downhill. And what's up with the Winter Wonderland? All I know is there's no going back the way we came. Let's see if we can get our bearings. Follow me.
A disc of smooth metal was lightly covered in snow. Two faint seams were visible along the surface.
A manhole cover? If it is, I've never seen one like this. Well, I mean, that's the hole, but it has a thing on it, so I don't know if they're gonna come through there or not. Oh! Right! Rollo is still trapped underground in this branch. Luca, are you there?
Luca had almost forgotten the walkie-talkie he was carrying.
It's that bozo Kerr. I hope nothing bad has happened to you out in those woods. Oh.
Luca looked at Iggy with hesitation.
Oh. If he's coming to us on the walkie-talkie, that means he's wherever Rollo is. No need to be rude.
With a resigned sigh, Luca responded.
Seems like the only dangerous thing in the woods is you. He speaks, the young man of the hour. Now, how in tarnation did you end up with one of our radios? Just lucky, I guess. Boy howdy, you Van Horns are full of surprises, aren't you? You knew my parents? I never had the honor of meeting your father, but your mom sure was a handful. Oh, don't you say that you were involved with the mom and her disappearing.
Luca winced, shoving the walkie-talkie back into his pocket.
You gotta keep moving. Where to, though? Back down? Yes. Yeah, I guess we're gonna discover the source. Oh, crap. What's the readout? Sitting just above 258 Kelvin. I don't even know Kelvin. It's hard for me to know about converting Fahrenheit to Celsius, but I know Kelvin is like much different in terms of temperature degrees. I'm assuming it's just cold. That's down a bit from last time. Did we report this to Mr. Kerr? Still within safe ranges. It may be spreading, but it's under control for now. Even a small nudge in the equilibrium could cause a cascade. Dude, relax. Just a few more sites to hit before we can punch out. Let's get this over with. They caused a nuclear winter? What's all this? Hard to say with all the snow. I think it's a town sign. I can almost make out letters underneath there. What town could this even be? There couldn't be another town this deep into Weep Wood. I'm looking at evidence to the contrary. Let's figure out what we're dealing with here. Step 1, snow's gotta go. I'll see what I can do. Take it. Hey, Kay, how are you? Welcome back. So you bought the game. Excited to see the rest of it. Oh, nice! Well, I'm glad it seemed enticing for you. But yeah, enjoy, and I appreciate you saying that. But yeah, have a good evening. I'll see you again.
The boys stared in disbelief.
Run
at
quick
the
before you
sign
hear
that now
spoilers.
clearly read, "Welcome to Beacon Pines."
This doesn't make any sense. We're in Beacon Pines? How's that possible? We ran away from town. How did we get back here? Guess we got turned around. Where did all this snow come from? Well, it's been colder than normal lately. It's a pretty big difference between sweater weather and this Arctic hellscape. The puddle we fought at before, it was cold too. Maybe all of it leads to one source. You think it's related? What's going on? We're gonna get you some answers. Let's keep moving. Can't go that way. Yeah, there's some crazy stuff going on. Does stuff look familiar to you? It looks like the barrel near the puddle I shoved me into, yeah.
The fencing glistened, each chain link encapsulated with a translucent layer of ice.
Looks like the stuff they put up around Weep Wood. The stuff who put up? I don't know. I mean, what an adventure for a bunch of 12-year-olds. It's all frozen.
Looking down at the frozen stream, Luca could faintly see a school of minnows encased in the ice.
Whatever happened there, it happened fast. The fish didn't even have time to run. Or, you know, swim run.
The crunching of footsteps trailing Luca went hush. He looked back to see Iggy's face twisted with confusion.
Everyone's gone. What? There's nothing here but more snow. There must be an explanation for all of this. We just have to keep looking. You can look all you want. I quit. Iggy, we have to keep going. You don't get it, do you? This isn't one of your pathetic Hank Atomic stories. We aren't going to save the day. We aren't even going to save ourselves. My face is mangled, the town is destroyed, and everyone we've ever known is gone. We don't know that. You can't just quit. Do whatever you want. I'm done. Iggy, it's gonna be okay.
Luca peered upward at the darkening sky. He let out a long, foggy breath. Faintly, Iggy began to cry. Seeing Iggy in such a pathetic state gave Luca a sense of compassion, and more than a little guilt.
It is getting pretty late, I think. Probably not a great idea to stumble around in the dark anyway.
Luca allowed himself to collapse next to Iggy.
Let's just rest for a bit.
The boys huddled together for warmth and comfort. If not for exhaustion, their minds would be racing, trying to make sense of the events of the day. As it was, all they had energy for was to sit in silence, numb.
The way snow covered everything over. It's kind of calming. Yeah. I haven't had time to say it, but thanks. Huh? You're getting us away from those creeps. I sort of froze up back there. Iggy, I should be the one apologizing. This all happened because I lost my temper. Nah, that's bull hockey. First of all, you didn't know what that gunk would do. You didn't, right? Of course not. And second, stop with this baloney about losing your temper. But I did lose my temper.
Iggy motioned sarcastically to his half-deformed face.
Obviously. But that's exactly what you should have done. Huh? I was being a horse's patoot. You were supposed to be a horse's patoot in response. That's how it works. Iggy, I'm having a hard time following. You wanted me to fight you? Of course. Geez, you goody-goody types take forever to understand this very basic point. Why would you go around saying cruel things trying to get into fights?
Iggy shrugged.
Something to do. You're a jerk because you're bored? Sometimes I just feel empty. You wouldn't understand. You and Rollo are always having a blast together. Laughing and calling that dinky little treehouse mission control.
Iggy now wept openly.
Perfect little Luca Van Horn. With his perfect little life. My life is not perfect. Everybody in town likes you. Not everybody. Hell, that new girl hasn't even unpacked yet, and even she already likes you. You have Tish.
He wiped his nose with a sleeve.
I love Tish. Tish is great. But she ain't exactly the world's greatest conversationalist, you know?
Luca gave a warm chuckle.
I get that impression.
Iggy cleared his throat as he wiped his eyes.
Huh. It must be raining out here. Definitely.
Iggy arched into a wide yawn.
We should probably try to get some sleep. Not out in the cold! Yeah. Let's lay low for now. Tomorrow we'll get to the bottom of all this.
Luca's eyelids began to slowly drift shut.
No, that's rule number 1. You don't try to fall asleep out in the middle of the cold. Luca? Yeah? I always did want to see the inside of your dinky little treehouse. What do you think? Not bad. I'll give you the full tour when we get back. You know what? Huh.
That's all Luca could whisper before succumbing to sleep. Iggy snuggled in some more.
When it comes to worst days in my entire life, this one wasn't half bad. At least get inside a building.
The house smelled of warm bread. Luca was playing with toy blocks on the living room rug. He looked up to see his parents on the couch. His mother held his father's head in her lap. She idly stroked his hair while humming a song. A voice behind Luca spoke. "This is how you remember them, huh?" Luca turned to see his own face. The doppelganger from his dreams, still clad in a yellow hazmat suit, still carrying a look of disdain behind empty eyes.
What the crap?
Aww, look at this perfectly cozy scene. You know it wasn't really like this. The figure picked up a toy block and inspected it. It's amazing the facades that one can build given the right materials. Not that I blame us. These are a child's memories, all warm and fuzzy. You don't remember, do you? Luca snatched the block from the figure's yellow-gloved hand. Remember what? The doppelganger pointed to the couch. The last day we saw him alive. The day he chose to abandon us. Luca turned to look at his father, still lounging on the couch. That's not true. He didn't abandon us. The doppelganger waved his hand dismissively. Everything is true here. It's just a matter of what we choose to see. Well, let me show you. The world flickered and pulsed. Luca was sitting next to his bed, listening to his heartbeat with one of his dad's stethoscopes. The doppelganger limped into the room. No, we both know that's not how this went. He grabbed Luca's hand and guided the stethoscope to the floor. Luca heard muffled shouting, brought close by the stethoscope. It was his parents, fighting. Do you remember what we did next? Luca gave a slow nod and crept down the hall to peek through the banister. He could see the outline of his mother at the bottom of the stairs. Damn it, Walt. We can't afford to get involved in this. She was scared. His father stepped forward. What am I supposed to do? Just watch? There's a sickness in this town, and we both know who's behind it. I swore an oath to help people. I won't turn my back on them. Luca's mother grabbed Walt. She was crying, pleading. I can't lose you. Walt calmly removed Eleanor's hand from his shoulder. What's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. I could never live with myself if I let Sharper get away with this. Eleanor raised her voice. Spare me your bullshit platitudes. What about our son? Luca flinched, dropping the stethoscope down the stairs. Walt turned with a panicked smile. Luca, is that you, buddy? With tears in his eyes, Luca descended the stairs. Mom? Dad? What's going on? Walt dropped to a knee to meet Luca eye to eye. Nothing, buckaroo. Your mom and I just got a little overexcited is all. Luca placed the stethoscope against his father's chest. His heart was racing. It sounded like you were going somewhere? Walt gently removed the device from Luca's ears. Listen to me, Luca. I have some business to take care of. I'll be back in time to tuck you in. Luca hugged his father tightly. Promise? Walt stood up and walked to the door. He glanced over his shoulder. I promise. With a wink and a grin, he put on his hat and strode out into the evening sun. A figure approached soundlessly from the foggy snowfall.
Hello.
It stood above them, lingering in contemplation. Slowly raising one hand above Iggy, it snapped out 2 brisk raps on his head. From a deep slumber, Iggy sprang up defensively.
Get your hands off me.
Whether it was the calming presence or the recognition that he was not in danger, Iggy felt his clenched fists lower.
Just what do you think you're doing?
Luca looked up, gradually remembering his whereabouts. The figure exhaled a cloud of warm vapor.
You two certainly have caused a lot of commotion. What's that supposed to mean? Take it easy, Iggy. We were asleep minding our own business. You're the one running around knocking on people's heads. I'm sorry if I hurt you, Iggy. You didn't hurt nobody. Anybody. Huh? Oh, I see. You think you're better than me, you...
When it came to complete strangers, Iggy had trouble cobbling together an insult.
You big-hatted, scarfy-necked, furball. Okay, let's lower the temperature a bit here. Interesting choice of words. I mean, let's all just calm down. Who are you? A friend. An observer. A hitchhiker on the infinite expanse of possibility. Great. How about a name? If you must call me something, you can call me Nat.
Iggy huffed with gratification.
How about you make like a gnat and buzz off? Very well.
Nat began to turn away indifferently.
Wait. Do you live here? You might say that. Do you know where we are? You might also say that. Look, pal, we just want to find a safe way out of here. You gonna help us or not? Before knowing how to leave, one must know where they are. Oh, alright, that does it. Luca, I don't know about you, but I'm getting out of here one way or another.
Iggy turned sharply and began to stomp off.
Enough with the riddles. Iggy, wait up.
Realizing he'd worn their patience then, Nat relented.
Very well, I suppose this isn't the time for metaphors. I'll show you how to get back home.
Luca and Iggy turned around with hope in their eyes.
Come here.
Nat took a deep breath in.
Close your eyes.
Nat exhaled slowly, then snapped his fingers.
Okay, open them.
For a brief moment, Luca and Iggy let themselves believe that some great magic was about to unfold, until they opened their eyes and found themselves in the exact same place, cold and disheartened.
This is your home. This is Beacon Pines. Look, Nat, we don't know how we got here. Maybe we stumbled through some time travel gate in Weep Wood. Or we teleported to some alternate universe. Or this is all just some cruel experiment by Kerr and his goons. But this is not our home. You're inching closer to the truth. Alas, the reality is much less fanciful. Just give it to us straight. So be it. As I said, this is Beacon Pines. The original, true Beacon Pines. Wait, the one that had to get scrubbed? Or whatever? You both grew up here, but the town you've called your home for the past several years is a replica. A remarkable achievement of engineering, to be fair, but a replica nonetheless. That's impossible. It's too much work. You'd need a whole town to replicate a whole town. Indeed, to pull off such a feat would require immense labor power. That which could be moved would be moved. That which could not would require a precise duplicate. We would have noticed. Someone would have noticed. You'd think so, unless the auditing was impeccable. A mind-numbing attention to detail. As for the innumerable frivolities which complete the tapestry, well, you can leave that to this miraculous thing we call a brain. It has a real aversion to discontinuity, revulsion even. The brain has a wonderful way of smoothing out the rough edges, keeping us sane. Luca and Iggy looked around uncomfortably. So you're saying that someone made an entire new town and moved us all and no one noticed? Precisely. But why? Why is the one question that can never be answered with certainty. The best one can do to uncover.
Nat narrowed his eyes, furrowed his brow, and uttered,
The source. Why'd you say the source like that? Why, indeed.
Luca began to laugh uncomfortably.
It's all ridiculous. There's no way they
He
could.
looked down at his feet. His eyes started back and forth in contemplation. With a sudden pain, a thought struck him.
If this really is home.
He sprinted off into the pale distance. As Iggy turned to follow, Nat called out,
Iggy, it's not too late to turn back. Simply head west through Weep Wood. Whale.
Chapter 6. The Source. Nat expressed his sympathy with a shrug and sauntered off as unassumingly as he'd arrived. He'd given Luca and Iggy what they needed, and nothing more. As Luca sprinted across the snow, the events of the past few days became clearer, pieces to a larger puzzle. Rollo said he was underground somewhere, captured. Mr. Kerr tried to cover it up with lies. The clipboards were hell-bent on capturing Iggy. It all seemed to point to perennial harvest. But right now, there was one thing that Luca needed to know.
That home was real?
Luca stopped dead in his tracks. The tree was gone, uprooted and moved, leaving a raw gash in the earth. He dropped to his knees and dug wildly at the cold snow. His numb hands hit something hard, a headstone. A dry whisper escaped Luca's lips.
You're here. All this time I thought I was visiting you. You've been here, alone, in the snow. His dad's grave. Dad, I'm so sorry. I ruined your favorite spot in the world. Our favorite spot in the world. Dad, what do I do?
There was no reply, just snow-covered silence.
Why'd you give me the slip like that? What if I couldn't find you, you jerk?
Iggy finally noticed the tears welling in Luca's eyes and the snow-covered grave.
Oh. Iggy, they stole his tree, Iggy. Yikes.
Suddenly, they heard the crunch of approaching footsteps in the snow.
Uh-oh. We gotta hide. 259 Kelvin. Fall off distance still good. Dude, did you hear me? I said 259. Sorry. You ever think about what we did here? We saved a whole town of people. Doesn't feel like it sometimes. What about everything we left behind? That's the grave of someone with a family. The people who loved them will never know the truth. The truth is overrated.
He bent down to scoop up a snowball and lobbed it playfully.
Hey, don't be such a downer, dude. We took this job to change the world. Yeah. Come on. It's almost lunchtime. Huh, weirdo. Here, I thought I was a jerk. These dinguses are out here literally dancing on graves.
Luca stuttered through heaving sobs.
I thought I was visiting him. I thought he was with me. Not gonna lie, that's a bad break. Here's some advice.
Iggy gave Luca a solid smack on the back of his head.
Hey! Who's any of this helping? What? Sitting here in the snow crying like some pushover? Who you helping? Iggy, look what they did. They lied to everyone. Blah, blah, blah. Luca Van Horn, you're a lot of things, but you ain't no pushover. What did I tell you before? When some jerk comes at you acting like a horse's patoot? I should stand up for myself. Hell yeah. Kerr and his merry little band of clipboards pulled off the switcheroo for a reason, right? Nat mentioned something about a source.
Luca wiped his eyes with a sleeve.
Whatever's at the source must be awfully valuable to perennial harvest. Sure would be a shame if something unfortunate was to happen to their precious source, wouldn't it? What do you have in mind? If it's small enough to steal, we snatch it. If it's too big to snatch, we smash it. And what if it's too big to smash?
Iggy flashed a mischievous smile and cracked his knuckles.
I'm always up for a challenge. Well, I mean, we've kind of seen Grant do that, but I guess to find out what the source actually is something. I'm gonna make this right, Dad. I promise. Let's do this. Well, at least we already have an idea where it is. Gotta get there. It can get awful cold out there in those woods, Luca. Oh, shut your face, Kerr. Probably best you two stay put and conserve your energy. Help's on the way. Where's Rolo? Where's my mom? Did you kill her? Oh, heavens no. Do I seem like a killer to you?
Iggy and Luca shared a skeptical look.
You seem like someone who would pass off the dirty work and not care. Well, do I? Ah, shucks. Now that hurts my feelings. Screw that guy. Wait a minute. If this is the original town, then that means...
Iggy darted behind a large pine and began digging furiously. He emerged holding a shoebox with a crude skull painted on its lid.
What's that? Long story. So a few years back, I, came into possession of some premium grade fireworks. Not the wimpy firecracker stuff they give kids. The good stuff. But why did you bury it under a tree? That's the long part of the story. You and Rolo were doing chores at Rolo's chicken coop. And you guys pissed me off for some reason or another.
Luca rolled his eyes with realization.
No, you didn't.
Iggy stifled a chuckle.
Yep. I just wanted to give you guys a little scare. But like I said, these were some primo fireworks. He started the flaming chicken coop! So I might have underestimated things. You blew up the chicken coop? I prefer to think of it as an incendiary redecoration. Sorry, but you should have seen the looks on your faces. Rolo got grounded for months, which is why I needed to stash the evidence and lay low. So I buried him under that tree. But when I came back for him later, they were gone. I figured some grown-up found him and tossed him.
Iggy triumphantly raised the shoebox.
Turns out it wasn't the fireworks that got moved. It was us. Unbelievable. Dang it, Iggy. I mean, he comes through, but man. Do you think this is a game? Newsflash, boyo. You're not a hero. You're a little brat who is in way over his head. A hero is just someone who refuses to give up. Comics these days are rotting children's brains. Everyone thinks they're a spaceman superhero. I was always partial to Hank Atomic myself. Is that so? Do you really think you have a chance against us? You have no idea how powerful we are. Prepare for blast-off, loser. Ha! At least we can always outsass the villain, right? Ooh, boy.
Luca and Iggy inched up to the edge of the hole with bewilderment in their eyes. Arctic air breathed out of the cavern in heaving gusts.
Echo! Echo! Whoa. I can see why they wanted to move us all out of town now. Why would they dig a giant hole? I think this is it. This is the source? It's a dang hole? How do we smash a hole? Ah, crap. Oh, it's much more than that, my annoying little friend. Kerr. Where's Rolo? I wasn't lying before. He's safe. Well, safer than you two, at least. Rats, it's cold. You just had to drag me all the way out here, didn't you?
Mr. Kerr gazed down the abyss in contemplation.
It really is something, isn't it? What did you do to our town? What is all of this? Well, that's a doozy of a question. This is the source, where they collect the unrefined,
Kerr scratched the back of his head.
Honestly, boys, I don't understand any of this well enough to explain it. Fact of the matter is, I'm not paid to know. What do you mean you don't know? Ain't you in charge? Oh heavens no, my role was merely to flash a winning smile and manage various complications. And who? Complications like us? You are a smart
His
boy.
face contorted into a saccharine grin.
Ew. It really is nothing personal. Some people are destined to strive for greatness, and others are simply obstacles along the way. Seems like you were destined to be a creepy lackey. The point is that we all play our part in life. Mine just happened to be a lead in the role of a lifetime. Keep telling yourself that. And you happen to be extras ready for your curtain call. I thought you said you weren't a murderer. We aren't giving up without a fight. Your smile's not going to be so winning after we're done with you. Now, boys, there's no need for melodrama. It makes even a professional such as myself embarrassed for you. Let's change the mood a bit.
Kerr snapped his fingers.
Scene change. Ah, crackers. There, that's better. Deal with them.
Iggy turned to Luca with a sly glance.
Why are you smirking? Because I have a box full of fireworks and you don't.
Iggy waved the box into the air, threatening to drop it down the hole.
Stop. Let's not do something regrettable. Joke's on you, regret is one of my specialties. Out of curiosity, what would happen if I threw these in your precious hole? Nothing. Nothing at all. You're a terrible liar. I'll have you know, I'm an exceptional liar. But, that's far enough.
Iggy plucked a single bottle rocket from the box and held it up with reverence.
Stop, you fool. Haul off your goons.
After a long pause, Mr. Kerr flung up his hand with frustration.
Very well. You can all head back for the night. It's been a long day. I'll handle these two from here.
Mr. Kerr sighed into the frigid air.
It's just us now, Iggy. You can put that down. What, like this?
With a nonchalant flick, Iggy tossed the firework into the hole.
Ooh. Oh. Ooh. Whoa.
With a growl, Kerr leapt at Iggy, crashing through Luca.
Oh. Oh
Iggy tried
no!
to twist away, but in the struggle they both tumbled over the side. Luca dove forward, bracing Iggy's hand just before it slipped. His grip was made precarious by the cold, wet snow. He could see Kerr further down, clinging to Iggy's coat.
You reckless child, what have you done? Luca, listen to me. Hold on tight and use the walkie-talkie to call them back. What channel do I use? It doesn't make a dang difference, they're always listening. If you do that, the clipboards will just haul us up and snag us both. The only way you get out of this is if Kerr's out of the picture. Just let go and save yourself. If he lets go, we both die. I don't want to die, but seeing the look on your face almost makes it worth it. Mr. Kerr, you've had a long life. Why don't you actually do something selfless and just let go?
Mr. Kerr gasped with insult.
Wow. Long life? I'll have you know I can still play 25. You should have heard me sing the part of Phileas Young.
With a wild look in his eye, Mr. Kerr began to hum a proud melody.
Wow, can you believe this guy? Huh.
Luca's hand began to cramp. His voice began to crack.
Her, just let go. No can do. If you want to save your friend, you'll have to save me too. Luca, look at me. It's okay.
Luca felt Iggy loosen his grasp.
You aren't going to kill your friend like that, are you? Wow.
Every muscle in Luca's body burned.
I'm not his friend. Yes, you are. Nah, I'm just a no-good bully. Like you, Kerr. Iggy, no.
Luca felt his hand slipping.
And I told you what you need to do with bullies. I can't. It's your only way out of this mess. Two birds with one stone. It makes sense for us to fall together. Wackadoos travel in packs.
A calm settled over Iggy's face.
Luca, let me do this.
Iggy's voice was colder than the bitter air billowing from the chasm.
Let me do the right thing for once. What? Wow. All the time we've been gathering these charms and we didn't know what they were going to be used for. With all their cute pictures and everything. And even in these moments. I feel like refuse is the bad end, so I'm going to refuse and we'll see what happens.
Luca had no choice but to refuse Iggy's request. He tightened his grip and reached for the walkie-talkie in his pocket. A wild delight crept onto Mr. Kerr's face. That's a good lad. Now, radio for help. Iggy begged Luca with his eyes one last time, but Luca pressed the button and called out. We need help. Mr. Kerr is in danger. It wasn't long before they were once again surrounded by clipboards. Mr. Kerr sighed with relieved frustration. There you are. You really are a worthless lot, aren't you? Mirror, now. A clipboard dutifully produced an ornate ivory hand mirror, and Mr. Kerr began preening his tousled hair.
Wow.
Ah, that's better. Mr. Van Horn, I applaud your sharp thinking under duress. I'll put in a good word for you with the founder. Take them away.
Oh boy.
A swarm of hands overpowered Luca. The last thing he saw before a cloth bag was pulled over his head was the defeated look on Iggy's face. The end.
Woo! Yep, I was right.
I think this was one of those times where doing the right thing was the wrong thing.
Yeah. Alright, let's go back.
Luca had no choice but to accept Iggy's request. With a quiet blink, Luca watched a teardrop sail down into the howling void. As his fingers slowly gave up, he met eyes with Iggy.
Good.
The two silhouettes were swallowed by darkness.
No. Hell of a goodbye, Iggy. Luca, you should really step back. What? Quickly. Curious. Ah, but of course. Those fireworks of Iggy's must have been just the right amount of energy. We should get out of here before perennial harvest arrives. Not until you tell me what just happened. Your friend's sacrifice just saved this town. For a little while, anyway. How? Tempus liquamine is a peculiar substance. It can change the relationship between matter and time itself. But doing so requires unfathomable energy. In a closed system, that energy can only come from its surroundings. A useful side product of this property being, by adding precisely the correct amount of energy to it, one can create a cryogenic cascade. So the gunk makes things cold and the fireworks made the whole freeze over? That's one way of putting it, yes. As dumb luck would have it, the fireworks weren't strong enough to generate a runaway reaction. I shudder to think what would have happened in that case.
We have some idea what that would look like.
It will take them a good while to safely break through and access the source again. If you know all of this stuff, why haven't you been helping? I have been, in my way. Each one of us has our role to play. Iggy's role, it turns out, was to buy us precious time. Mine has been to observe and wait. Wait for what? You. Why, me? Why? What's my role?
A fierce twinkle flashed in Nat's eyes.
Luca Van Horn, you are going to save the world. What?
With a chuckle, Nat turned and walked west. Dumbfounded, Luca followed behind him, trudging through the snow. Every step taking him further away from everyone and everything he knew, and closer to destiny.
Oh gosh.
To be continued in Beacon Pines, Pines Harder. Revenge served cold. Second time's a charm? Wait, that's it? This ends with a crummy cliffhanger just when it was getting good? I was even starting to like Iggy. No way. I refuse to be associated with some never-ending parade of sequels. Let's go back and find something more definitive.
Hurry. Okay, but yeah, ads are about to play, so this is a good time for ads to run. We're gonna go ahead and do that. I'm just gonna try to see if we can get to the end no matter what. I might get a snack or something, but I encourage you all to do the same. Stand up stretch, snacks, beverages, bathroom, all that stuff. We'll be back. Make more decisions, I guess. Oh boy. And on how long this is, we're probably gonna have to break this up into 2 parts on YouTube, because my gosh. Yeah, I guess since we're kind of taking this at a slower pace and such, since we're reading all the dialogue, commentating and discussing and such, this is probably why it takes longer. I always check how long to beat when it comes to games like this and such. And typically I think the estimations always usually take me longer, because again, we're streaming it, we're again commentating, reading dialogue, chatting and stuff like that, so we'll see. But again, I'm enjoying it. I got some Cheetos white cheddar bag of bones. They're really good though. They're like puffs, literally like shaped into different types of bones and stuff. Really good this time of year. I'm gonna snack. And we did get one new charm at least. That was from Mr. Kerr himself. We just gotta see where stuff fits in. Again, I love like the illustrations and such. Really. Wait, really? Is used here? Hmm.
And in the stillness, he began to hum. After the death of his father, Luca had trouble sleeping. Each night, his mother would sit at the foot of his bed and hum a gentle melody. It was the only thing that could calm his mind. The only thing that, however briefly, could make it all seem okay. That melody pervaded every memory Luca had of his mother. Shivering in the raw snow, he began to hum it out loud.
Oh.
Gran lowered the torch, listening closely. As recognition slowly set in, her heart sank. Those countless nights of consolation, the incomparable loss they shared together. She let the torch fall to the snow and sizzle out. A few steps toward Luca was all she could bear before dropping to the snow herself. Through a flood of tears, she began to hum along, note for note.
And this gives me Grease vibes.
Lifted his head in astonishment. The last time he heard that melody was the last night he saw his mother.
How do you know? I'm so sorry, my little buckaroo. Buckaroo. Only people who called me that are my dad and your mother.
Luca blinked through blurry, watery eyes, trying to see more clearly. He could just make out the impression of a familiar face. He peered across the snowscape at the woman on her knees. Something about her was undeniably his mother. Only smaller, older, changed.
Mom? That's right, Buckaroo. Mom! What
Luca
the?
sprinted as fast as he could toward his mother. They held each other close, and the cold retreated from their bodies.
Oh no, I think I know what happened. Eleanor? I thought you were gone. Should have known I would never abandon my son.
Eleanor looked down at Luca, tightening her embrace in an appeal for forgiveness.
How? You're a smart man, Joseph. I thought you'd have pieced it together by now. You were exposed. Mom, I don't understand any of this. What happened to you? Where did you go? Why did you leave me? I never left you. I was always right here, Luca. Why did you lie to me? It tore me up, Luca, but I did it to keep you safe. I thought that getting answers would help us both move on. Before, the more I discovered, the more I realized the danger we were in. Until perennial harvest was stopped, it was better if everyone thought I was gone. You could have trusted me. These are bad people, Luca. They won't stop until they get what they want. And they don't care who gets hurt in the process. And what do? We have to stop them.
Joseph slumped into the cold, wet snow.
It's exactly like Joseph said, that's what the goop is. When we dipped the branch into it and it leapt to life and went through its almost entire phase of budding to flowering to fading. That's what that stuff does. It ages you. And she was like completely exposed to it. And what was happening to Iggy was he was growing up, supposedly. They can't be stopped. This is too big. I tried beating them at their own game. I've done fighting fire with fire.
For the first time in a long time, her voice felt like her own again.
No more lies. I see now. There's a better way to stop perennial harvest. The cold, hard truth.
Luca gazed down at Nuncreed with pity. He looked small. Joseph stared into the snow, as if searching it for answers.
Come on, everyone. We've got a party to crash. Wow. That was definitely not the twist I expected. There's been a lot of twists in this game. Though we haven't met whoever the founder is. You don't understand. He always wins. Crap.
Chapter 9. The Devil You Know.
Oh.
7 months ago, Eleanor Van Horn crept down the maze of sterile hallways under perennial harvest. She stopped in front of the large steel door marked Deep Engineering.
Oh.
No turning back now. She raised a trembling hand. The stolen keycard worked as promised, and the door buzzed open with mechanical efficiency. She was immediately hit with the smell of disinfectant. It was some sort of laboratory. In one corner was a desk covered in papers. Across the room stood a tall metal pod with hoses protruding from its base. She rushed to the desk and began shifting through the piles of papers. They were experiment reports on something called Tempus liquamen. There were dozens of them, every one stamped failed. Eleanor heard the sharp echo of footsteps approaching. She was out of time. Her eyes scanned the room, eventually landing on the strange pod. Muttering a curse under her breath, she dashed over and dove inside.
Oh. She dove in and exposed herself to that stuff. All trying to figure out what happened to her husband and everything. We're back with his speed. Except for the explosion. This man is a liar. Excuse me? I will not. This town is a dangerous secret, and perennial harvest only exists to keep it hidden. Nonsense. They picked up the whole dang town and moved it right under our noses. You aren't making any sense, dear.
Mr. Kerr addressed the crowd with a sarcastic tone.
Imagine such a thing. It's absurd and just plain impossible. They promised they could fix the foul harvest. They told us they would clean this place up. We just had to leave town for a few days. But while they had us evacuated, Mrs. Hartford, I'm afraid I'm going to ask you to. You're afraid of a lot of things, aren't you? You sniveling little worm. This is growing tiresome. A little help, please? Don't you all see? This festival is a sham. An excuse to have the whole town gather in one place. They're planning something awful. I don't know what, but these people are wicked. Don't listen to her. She has absolutely no proof. I am the proof. I am Eleanor Van Horn.
Whispers filtered through the crowd.
Well, aren't you just as sneaky as the dickens? We all knew Valentine's fertilizer was too good to be true. And now this whole town is paying the price. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so sorry about this disruption. My associates will take this obviously disturbed woman somewhere comfortable so that she can get the help she needs. She is not the one who's disturbed. You two-timing clown. You all know that there's something wrong with this town. It was just easier to look the other way. The truth is... Solomon! That's quite enough, Mr. Nuncreed.
Torment dragged on Joseph Nuncreed's face.
Yes, sir. What? Take them away. No, I want them to see this. The ever-tempestuous Eleanor Van Horn. You've been quite the thorn in my side. He's the founder? Is he the founder and he's the one that Eris and Eleanor consider both their enemies? Like a weed that's buried where it doesn't belong. I must confess, you look dreadful.
He paused for a moment, plucking a piece of fuzz from his sweater and discarding it to the ground.
Consider yourself in rare company. You've managed to pull one over on me. It won't happen again. I knew you had some sort of plan to disrupt our little party. But alas, I expected something a bit more impressive than incoherent rambling. No matter, your failures are yours to bear. Mr. Kerr? Yes, sir. It's a shame it was cut short, but I thank you for that rousing oratory. I will take it from here. I have an idea, but I'm not going to say it just yet. Yes, sir. Of course, sir. You have done quality work for me, William. You can look forward to the recompense we agreed upon.
Kerr gave a bow of deference.
Founder, you are most gracious.
Gasps rippled through the crowd.
Thankfully, we can dispense with the formalities from here on out.
Solomon pulled a glass vial from his pocket. In one smooth motion, he downed its contents. A triumphant smile grew across Solomon's lips.
You can all call me Sharper Valentine. I knew it! Just as the way they were talking, it's like, I know I come to conclusions right before they happen, but the way that he was kowtowing to this guy, like, oh my gosh, what?
His body and face began to contort and expand as he disappeared into a belching green mist. A hushed horror gripped the crowd. This is a story about change.
Oh my gosh. What? No! So you didn't see that coming. Good.
Sharper examined his new hands.
Well, this is quite the improvement. Everything looks so much smaller now. Eleanor was right about one thing. This festival was a ruse. I wanted you all to witness my glorious return with your own eyes. Why does everyone look so downtrodden? This is a celebration, people. Maybe it would help if we set the mood. Mr. Kerr, be a dear and reveal the sign. Oh. Ha! Wonderful.
Sharper choked out a crude squawk of a laugh.
Wow.
Frustrated grumbles sprinkled through the crowd.
Yeah, they're probably not happy to see him. Sharper, you malicious bastard. I'm glad you're back so I can tell you to your face. You destroyed this town. We ain't gonna let you get away with it again. Sorry, this is not the time for audience participation. Some assistance, Mr. Kerr?
William Kerr gave a subtle nod to the clipboards.
You coward. Does anyone else have something to contribute?
A helpless quiet settled over the crowd.
Ow. I thought so. Did you all truly believe you could be free of me? A town of complete and utter fools. You people should be celebrating my return. You're clearly lost without me. And that lends me nicely to my children. Daddy? Oh, don't you be happy. I mean, it's conflicting, but still. I gave you both the greatest gift a parent can give. The opportunity to prove yourselves in my absence. Uh-oh. Squandered. To say I'm disappointed would be an understatement. But Silence, Augustus, an adult is speaking. Oh my gosh, he's a scumbag. I mean, we already knew that, but God. I don't know which is worse, a son who is completely hopeless, or a daughter with such potential who inevitably lets me down. Eris, you fail me with admirable consistency. Thankfully, I was counting on it this time. Father, I have been wasting time, my dear. What have you accomplished? I was focused on cementing our legacy. Legacy? Who needs a legacy when you can just live forever? But what about... It's all right, kiddo. I'm afraid you suffer from a complete lack of imagination. There's just no helping it. Now then, where is Joseph? You didn't take the opportunity to slip off, did you? Ah, there he is. Everyone should give him a hand. None of this would have been possible without Joseph. I think you've said enough. Nonsense, the people deserve to know how helpful and loyal you've been. I only did what I did because he left me no choice. You always had a choice, Joseph. You were simply too weak to take it. No matter, cheer up. You are about to be rich beyond your wildest dreams. You should follow Mr. Kerr's example. When I found him, he was in a sorrier state than any of you. An aging actor, desperate to recapture his youth. He played his part, and soon he'll be able to play the leading man again. Forever, in fact, if he remains loyal. It goes for all of you. Well, those who haven't already frittered away my goodwill. Beacon Pines is mine again, and I am willing to share its spoils in exchange for absolute loyalty. Are you saying William Kerr was never in charge of Perennial Harvest? Huh. You think that puffed-up blatherskite could have accomplished all of this? Dawn, I suppose it's time for your big exclusive.
Sharper addressed the crowd with indignant pride.
Oh boy.
He'd planned this moment for so long that now, at the deed's fruition, it almost felt frivolous.
You see, I needed a figurehead to hold things down while I orchestrated my return. Someone to misdirect, lie, and bilk this town for a spell. So I invented William Kerr. Take your bow, you've earned it.
Mr. Kerr flourished a preposterously elaborate bow.
Ugh. Oh my gosh. Really? The guy with the weird autobiography in the library? Patrick C. Montesquieu, thespian extraordinaire, at your service. Founder, I just want to thank you again for this opportunity. It was truly the role of a lifetime. Wait, so this Bill Kerr was a patsy the whole time? Patsy, ha. Now that your secret is out in the open, what's to stop this town from rising up against you? Oh, that's the delicious part. Fear. Thanks to our clipboards, I know what each and every person in this town fears most. Oh. And I will make those fears manifest for anyone who steps out of line. The choice is simple. I'm not afraid of you. Ha, the young hero. I've kept a keen eye on you, boy. You and your friends made a habit of disrupting my plans. What a pity. If things would have gone a bit differently, you might have had your moment of triumph. But that's fate for you. You can't do this. Oh, but I can. I have won. Never underestimate what a great man can do given time. And now time is my plaything. Perhaps the most expensive thing I've ever bought. But well worth it. Ha!
Sharper coughed up one final laugh and cracked his knuckles.
Enough chit-chat. Let's get to work, shall we? Oh boy.
And so, Sharper set about remaking the town in his own image. The fertilizer factory soon reopened for business. Sales rose steadily as more and more farmers across the countryside began to swear by its miraculous properties. Beacon Pines became famous, a secretive town that, for the right price, shared its gifts with all. Gifts that became more and more necessary in a world where winters grew longer and longer.
Oh boy.
The end.
Oh.
This is wrong, but things are becoming clearer now. You can feel it, right? We can't let Sharper win. He might just be the key to this whole thing. Let's see.
Well, we got another card. Where to use it? Ah. Right. Back to this guy.
There was a malice lurking behind those eyes, like a trap ready to spring. Luca felt the weight of Nuncreed's hand on his shoulder.
Run.
Something wasn't right. He didn't know why, but something was telling Luca to get out of there.
I just want this to all be over. Of course, I'm sure it will all work out soon enough. I should get going. I told Roxy I'd check it for Rolo at the treehouse.
Luca twisted free of Nuncreed's grasp.
Of course. Luca, you know your dad and I were good friends back in the day. You can come to me with anything. Anything at all. Up yours, Nuncreed! Oh boy. Oh yeah. Are we about to hear some juicy plot? These festival decorations are a bit humdrum. Now if I were to throw a festival, it would be a thing to behold. I agree, this is all a little more than sad. It's worse than sad. It's boring. What if we did a little something to spice things up? I'm listening. You know that festival sign waiting to be unveiled? It would be a shame if someone...
The two scurried off, eagerly formulating a plan.
Who is this other guy, though, is my question. Especially now that we know who this guy is. Yeah, that's why kid likes black licorice. Because he's an adult. Somehow reproduced or some other crazy thing. What you got for me, book lady? He looked down and muttered in a gruff voice. Mama always told me my problems would look smaller once I grew up. And my problems always seemed to grow right along with me. Heavens, I sense big trouble ahead. Yeah. What are we doing? Oh, go to the treehouse. Alright. Oh. Identify yourself, please. Nellie Miodwill. I work here now. I'm unable to locate you on our staff roll. Oh, I don't officially start until tomorrow. Mr. Kerr said I could come in early tonight to get a few things done. Hold, please. Clearance authorized. Thank you. Our harvest awaits. Oof. Perennial. I know perennial is a growing term. But it's annual, biannual, and perennial. Now I feel like it makes that term even more sinister. Perennial. Lasting or existing for a long or apparently infinite time. Welp. Yeah, that's a thing. And that's what I noticed about the Valentine Company's logo, is that it looked an awful lot like the Perennial Harvest logo, and that for some odd reason there's the infinity sign in it. Ooh, boy game. Hiding stuff right under our noses. Okay. Whoa! You could get a wrench to the noggin sneaking up on a guy like that. Don't scare a man while he's junkin', sonny. Evening, Jeff. Isn't it kind of late to be junkin'? I might as well ask the same thing of you. Find anything good? Bah, ever since Perennial Harvest moved in, even the junk is trash. You can learn a lot about a person by looking at what they throw away. But this bunch is all shredded paper and coffee cups. Well, I better get going. I didn't see nothing if you didn't see nothing. See what? Exactly. Might as well talk to the freaking clipboard. Guess not. Okay. Because now it's a matter of keeping an eye out for more charms if we have to figure other stuff out. But man, what a plot twist. Like, shoot. What a bunch of plot twists. Rollo?
He aired a long holler into the woods.
Rollo! Rollo, wherever you are, I hope you're okay.
Luca felt his eyes getting heavy and plopped into the beanbag.
I forget if this is the one where he was kidnapped.
He conceded to its lumpy embrace. Once again, Luca found himself in a vast black expanse.
Oh, here we go again.
This time, he knew exactly where to go. He took a single confident step forward. The world flickered and pulsed. He found himself standing in front of the frigid air of a blazing campfire. The source. He plopped down cross-legged and gazed into the cold flame, waiting. Soon enough, the fire began to die out, popping sporadically, until all that was left was a single ember. Luca stood up and dusted himself off. He plucked the glowing ember from the cold ash, examined it, and slid it into his pocket.
Whoa.
A keepsake. The voice of his father spoke behind him. "You made me proud, buckaroo." Luca turned to face him. "Dad, what is this place?" A warm grin grew across his father's face. "A place where everything that has been and everything that could be all wait together."
Huh.
Luca found himself staring at his father's face, trying as hard as he could to memorize every single detail. Wait? For what? Another voice spoke out as Luca's doppelganger stepped forward. "That's up to you." Without knowing why, Luca began to weep. Is any of this real? Are you real?" Luca's father bent down to smudge away a tear. "Of course. I'm as real as the part of you that misses me." Luca turned to look at the older version of himself. "And you?" The doppelganger choked back tears. "I'm as real as the part of you that's angry he's gone." Does that make sense? Through his tears, Luca laughed. I think so. His father pulled him in for an embrace. Time to go, buckaroo.
Oh.
Luca was startled from his dream by a banging on the floor.
Are you in there?
A commanding voice rumbled from below. Just as Luca sprang to lock the entry hatch, the door knocked open.
Uh-oh.
Chapter 5. Dangers big and small.
Uh-oh.
Luca stumbled back. He heard the rope ladder creak under significant weight. Keeping his eyes fixed on the hatch, he inched backward to the balcony. As his hand grasped the door handle, Luca froze. A large figure clumsily wriggled up through the hole.
Stop right there, or I'll... Sheesh, I know it's dark and all, but I figured you'd recognize me. Oh, no! Who are you?
The large figure cocked its head inquisitively.
Stop now, or I'll clobber you with a baseball bat. Whoa, 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 take it easy. Luca, you need to get your eyes checked. It's me, Rollo. Nice try, but I know you aren't Rollo. Like, you're like one of his random uncles or something. Where is he? Uncle? Luca, quit messing around. He doesn't know. It's me. If it really is you, prove it. Flaming chicken coop, Luca.
Luca's jaw dropped.
He was exposed.
He peered more closely at the man standing in front of him. Something about him was undeniably Rollo, only bigger, older, changed.
Ow. What happened to you? When I was running away, I ran into more people in those yellow suits. They grabbed me and dragged me away. What? Where did they take you? Dunno, they threw a bag over my head. It was cold and smelled like a swimming pool. I think it was an underground lab or something. It made my hands all big. Look.
Rollo proudly presented his hands to Luca.
Pretty sweet, right? I mean, it wouldn't be my first pick for a superpower. Beggars can't be choosers. Rollo, it wasn't just your hands. My feet, too? Dang, Pa just made me new shoes. Wait, Luca, why are you so small? Yep, he didn't realize.
Luca moved to the side and pointed Rollo to his reflection in the balcony window.
What the?
His hands shot up to his face.
Holy Toledo! Rollo, what did they do to you? They made me drink some sort of green crud. Ew. Actually, it wasn't too bad. It kind of tastes like licorice. Oh! Wow. I passed out and woke up like this. And then I sort of smashed open my cage and escaped. Whoa, you smashed open a cage? Kinda. At least I think I did. It's all a bit of a blur. They had you in a cage. Who are these people? I don't know who did this to you, but we're gonna fix it. Fix it? This is awesome! Well, I'm just glad you're safe now. Luca, you don't need to worry about me. Sure, I got snatched, but look at it this way. I got snatched. I know where snatched people go. We may finally have a lead on what happened to your family. Maybe you're right, but this all seems dangerous. Danger? Ha.
Rollo shadowboxed a few jabs.
I'll take them all on. What the? Beck? What happened to you? Hey fellas, what's up?
With a yelp, Rollo dove behind Luca.
Ah, take cover. Did I come at a bad time? Who the heck are you? This is Beck. Sorry, something truly bizarre just happened and I need help. I don't know where else to go. So you're just hanging out here with your large adult friend? No, this is my buddy Rollo. This is your missing friend? One and the same. He seems a little old. I'll have you know this is a recent development. What the heck does that mean? Oh, I'm sorry, you're the one who just showed up out of nowhere. So we'll be asking the questions here. That's fair. How did you find us? Your silly little treehouse? I think you mean our silly little mission control. I hate to break it to you, but your secret path isn't so secret. And I could hear your racket from a mile away. See, Luca, this is why we need to improve security around here. Not now, Rollo. Beck, you said something bizarre happened. Yeah, but
She shot a nervous glance at Rollo.
anything you can say around me, you can say around Rollo. This has been a weird day all around, hasn't it? Yep.
Beck's eyes narrowed.
Okay, so it all started when I made it back home. My first order of business was to try to salvage my hair. So I dyed it with some stuff from the chemistry set my mom gave me. Oh, okay, so this was when he was missing, and when we got into that fight with Iggy, and we didn't push him. Instead, he kicked the liquid onto Beck's head and dyed her hair that color. So I'm guessing she dyed her hair. Uh-oh. Okay. Just need to play it cool and hope no one notices. Notices what? Oh, nothing. I was just... Come over here and let me have a look. Oh, honey, what in the world did you do to your hair? I just kind of felt like a change. This is going to take forever to grow out. You were the one who said that change was a good thing, right? I was talking about your mother's new job. I was talking about us moving. Well, I guess I just took your lesson to heart.
Ilona tried to put on a smile.
Before I forget, I came up here to tell you that Nellie had to go into work. Tonight? Her and Mr. Kerr decided it would be good for her to get some things done before tomorrow. That Kerr guy seems like a grade A creep. Beck! He is! Him and his weird cult of personality. You are not going to ruin this job for Nellie. It means too much to her. Oh, I know exactly how much it means to her. It means enough to her to exile her daughter to this podunk town. This place sucks. These people are weird. You just don't know them yet. It's always cold. We're in the mountains, you'll get used to it. I can't even pick up a single decent station on the radio. It's all banjo music and farm reports. You know I grew up in a town not that different from this one. Is that why you're better at talking to plants than people? Dang! Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. First of all, you're grounded. What? In the morning, I'll have Nellie come and see what we can do about fixing your hair. You need to look presentable for the festival. But not another peach.
She sighed, and after a moment, looked down at Beck sympathetically.
I know moving is hard, honey. But that doesn't mean you have to make yourself miserable all the time. Other people seem to have that covered for me. Oh, and if you decide to rebel by dyeing your hair more...
She flashed a sly grin and tousled Beck's hair.
I'll just shave it off for you. Think of how rebellious you'll look then. Very funny. Thank you. Good night, sweetie. Good night, Mom. Wait. First of all, this town does not suck. Second, you need help because you got grounded? No. I'm sorry you got in trouble. It's my fault that your hair got screwed up in the first place. Don't worry about it. I actually kind of like this look. Great. Can we get back to the story now? This next part is the important bit. I have this radio I upgraded with my mom and I was too angry to sleep. So I tried to dial in something worth listening to. Oh, did she pick up something? Mr. Kerr, are you there? Mr. Kerr? Yes, I'm busy. What is it? Apologies, I have the founder on the line. Patch him through immediately. One moment. Hello, sir. It's so nice to hear from you. Skip the pleasantries. What's your report on our new lead researcher of deep engineering? Oh no. Nellie Modewell seems to be integrating nicely. At this very moment, she's working to help us meet our deadline. She offered to work overtime before I even had the chance to suggest it. Excellent. You have faith that she's capable of finishing the work left by her predecessor? You mean the one you threw in the garbage? Her work must be complete before the festival. I will make sure she stays day and night until it's accomplished. Good, you know how I feel about loose ends. Yes, sir. Once she has finished the work, we need to make a determination regarding her long-term prospects in the company. Immediately, sir? I usually have more time to fully bring people into the fold. We are in the endgame, Bill. After your failures with Dr. Prescott, I can't afford to take any risks. Of course, sir. No loose ends, sir. Once she finishes the work, she will either leave the office completely committed to perennial harvest, or she won't leave at all. Oh! Perfect. Sir, if I might suggest, maybe we should delay, just for a bit. Oh? It's just, we seem to be rushing to hit this festival deadline, and rushing into things has caused some issues in the past. I see. Please understand that I just want what's best for you. I'm eternally grateful for all that you've done for me. Bill, I'll make this very clear for you. I brought you in to make things run smoothly, not to have opinions. Dang. Of course, sir. Chin up, Bill. You are only a few days away from having everything you ever dreamed of. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. That's deep. More than one ways. Whoa. Yeah. Just so we're clear, when they said loose ends, they were talking about murder, right? Like actually killing someone? Capital murder?
Luca gave Rollo a quick elbow to the ribs.
Who is this founder? I was hoping you guys would know. As far as we know, Kerr is the top banana at Perennial Harvest. He sounds scared of this founder guy. So we haven't even topper banana on the field. What the hell is my mom caught up in? Has she talked about the job much? Not really. She said she was going to come in and continue the work of someone she respected. Luca, do you think that body at the warehouse was the person Beck's mom came to replace? That would make sense. Beck, it seems like Nellie's predecessor got, loose-ended. I'm getting that impression. Okay, so we need to get your mom out of there before the festival happens. That's 2 days away. Won't she just come home after work? The creep on the radio said they were going to hold her there until then. So if she's not coming out, we gotta go in and get her.
Beck flicked a large sheet of paper out of her pocket and slammed it on the floor.
Maybe this'll help. You have blueprints? Well, it's really just a welcome map from my mom's PH orientation day. But it shows the layout. Sure looks like blueprints to me. Look, here's the reception area. There's a big room marked Founder's Office. It even has the exits marked. Guys. We have a deadline. We have an objective. We have blueprints. You realize what this is, right?
Rollo started to wiggle with excitement.
Dang it, Rollo. I think we're heisting. This is officially a heist. Well, guess he's not
Chapter
wrong.
6. The Heist. They spent the night's end huddled around that small map, formulating a plan to infiltrate the headquarters of Perennial Harvest.
Well, it kind of seems like we have to be buzzed in, and there's no way to know how to do that.
It would be no small feat. A modern facility equipped with all manner of technology, not to mention the swarm of clipboards that would most certainly be scattered throughout. By the time the sun began to peek through the car window used as a makeshift balcony door, all were in agreement. This could just work. The final day before the festival would be used to prepare. They'd need to pool every resource at their disposal, pull every favor with a thread, even enlist some unsavory characters around town with important tasks only they were suited for. Luckily, there was enough ill will and mistrust toward Perennial Harvest that alliances could be found at a bargain. Luca, Beck, and Rollo rubbed their eyes as they exited the treehouse. They hadn't slept at all that night. There was no time. The festival was to begin in 1 day, and they each had their assignments.
Well, going without sleep isn't great, but... Alright, quick recap. Rollo, you're gonna talk to Roxy. Cordially. Without her and Fitz, this whole thing could go bust. Me, Cordial is my middle name. And how do you plan to explain your
He waved
new
vaguely at Rollo's sizable figure.
circumstance? She'll be so happy I'm alive she won't even
Beck
notice.
snorted an involuntary giggle.
And Beck, you're sure Ilona won't just shoot this whole thing down when she hears it? She'll listen. Once she understands the danger Nellie is in, the danger we're all in, the plan will make sense. Okay. That leaves me with Jeff, then Iggy. Are you gonna persuade them? I'll think of something.
They each looked at each other with sleepy confidence and nodded.
Well, Godspeed. Hurry. You have a plan, people. Now we just gotta find him and put him to use. Still don't know what leaning over there does, but I guess we'll find out at some point, maybe. What you got, book lady? Undaunted, he shook his head. Over? No. Endings are merely a state of mind. This doesn't end until I give up. Wow. I admire the conviction, but can he really pull through? Again, this is getting really interesting. Oh, Iggy, yeah, he's over here. Hey, Jeff. What can I do you for? Well, I know how much you hate perennial harvest. Hate's a strong word. Oh, sorry, I mean, I didn't say it was the wrong word. Gotcha. So we're gonna break into their headquarters, and I thought you might be able to help.
Jeff wheezed out a long snicker.
You see, I knew you kids were alright. Great, so you'll help?
The joy in Jeff's face drained instantly.
Oh, not a chance. But give me one good reason I should risk my hide at aiding and abetting you rascals.
Looking into the sullen eyes of his would-be accomplice, Luca blurted out the first word that came to mind.
Oh. I really have to choose these things. Let's try this first. Fight! I've done enough fighting for one lifetime and more than my share of losing. Time's come to hang up the gloves. I think I know which one he
He
wants.
shouted out again.
Junk. Yeah, what of it? Sonny, I've got more junk than a king has copper. Ain't interested. Okay, we're gonna see all of them. Hide!
Jeff's brow perked up.
What'd you say? Go ahead and hide then.
Sensing some traction, Luca carried on with vigor.
Oh, so I guess I could have tried the other funnier obvious one. I wonder if that would have been an achievement. Either way. Let a bunch of kids do what needs to be done. We're not afraid.
Jeff's scowl faded with a sigh.
Say what you will about old Jeff, and they all do. You'll never hear him say I hid from nothing.
One good stomp of the foot was all Jeff needed to drive his point home.
What was it you kids needed? Some sort of disguise. I've got just the thing. While we're at it, that crate should come in handy. This ain't gonna be free, you know. I'm thinking 5 bags of sour gob should cover it. Put it on my tab?
Luca offered out his open hand to seal the deal. With a firm and dusty grip, Jeff reciprocated.
Done. Swing by first thing in the morning. Okay. I guess I am a little disappointed that we didn't get to say the other thing, but who knows. Where would Iggy and what's-her-face be? Not up here. Do you have anything to say, kid? No. Where would they be? Huh. Well, knowing that they uprooted the entire tree to bring it over here, I'm just kind of examining it now. Like, I see a broken part. I guess I'm kind of curious since it seemed like there was a broken part on the ground. Alright, they've got to be somewhere in town.
The road leading to Beacon Pines was long and uninspiring. A sort of natural barrier for the impatient.
Library? Nope. Be sure to cover all my bases. Ah. Hey Tish, look who it is. Luca, are you here to try to tickle us to death again? Look, just hear me out.
Iggy raised an eyebrow suspiciously.
We're listening. Iggy, I know we've both been giant bags of... to each other.
Iggy gave a reluctant shrug.
You're not wrong. But lately life has been kinda... strange, you know?
Iggy considered the point.
Things have been weird around here. So I'm offering a truce and asking for your help. What do you say we... pull our hostilities, at least for now. Pull? We don't pull away from nothing. Buzz off. Ah, dang it.
Luca
Fine.
knew they'd need Iggy and Tish to pull this off. He tried again. Iggy gave a reluctant... Iggy considered the point.
We break our hostilities, at least for now. We do like breaking things. Even if a truce means less breaking things. What if I told you there was a way to have a truce and break stuff? Go on. I need you to cause the distraction so I can sneak into Perennial Harvest HQ.
A wild-eyed grin spread across Iggy's face.
My, Luca Van Horn, I'm impressed. And after all this is done, maybe you and Tish can come hang out at the treehouse sometime.
Iggy glanced over to Tish, who nodded in agreement.
Fine. But not because we want to see your crappy treehouse. We've seen another path this way that knows that's a lie. We just like to cause chaos.
With a quick nod, Luca was off.
Hurry. Did you hear that, Tish?
Iggy gazed up at Tish with a smile.
He invited us to hang out at the treehouse.
A single tear ran down Tish's cheek.
I never expected this day to come. Oh, how wonderful. He spoke.
Chapter 7. Into the Hive. A good heist requires preparation, and thorough preparation takes time, something they had precious little of. So far, everything was in order. Jeff, Iggy, and Tish all agreed to do their part. Beck radioed Luca that night with a simple and covert message. "We're locked and loaded on my end." And Rollo, after a lengthy confession, managed to persuade Roxy and Fitz to help. He stowed away in mission control for the night to avoid attracting attention. Rollo, being uniquely suited for the role, would be the first to breach Perennial Harvest. The outfit provided by Jeff wasn't perfect, but a convincing disguise is 10% wardrobe, 90% confidence.
Not wrong.
Rollo took a few vigorous breaths and shook out his arms.
Ah. Just stay calm, Rollo. You can do this. Got your delivery here. A delivery? I don't have anything in my notes about delivery. One moment. I'm so sorry, but there's no delivery scheduled for this morning. Right.
He had to think quick.
That's because this goes directly to the founder. He asked that it be kept secret.
Rollo sighed, adjusting his tool belt.
You know how the founder can be. I suppose we can leave this one off the records. Wow. Our harvest awaits and such.
With a stroke of his mustache, Rollo proceeded into the Perennial Harvest headquarters.
And I bet the kids are inside. Our harvest awaits. Package here for the founder. Oh, I didn't hear anything about... Yeah, and this is a need-to-know kind of thing. I'll just check.
He stammered and flipped through the pages of his clipboard.
This goes directly to the founder. I don't have time to fill you in. Oh, I see. If you could just complete this form.
Rollo interrupted with urgency in his voice.
Every time with the forms. Look, if you want to explain to the founder why I'm late, well, it's your funeral. I'm sorry. What did you say your name was again?
Rollo panicked.
Our harvest awaits. Sir? That's a restricted area. Excuse me, sir. Our harvest awaits! Okay. Say the ads are about to play, or they're playing right now. I'm just gonna stand up and take a quick stretch break. Did you all do the same? Yeah, and I wasn't anticipating this game to take so long when they were saying like 5 hours, but I'm guessing it's like 5 hours from if you find the right path. But either way, we are going to go ahead and take a quick stretch break and we'll be back. Alright. You're back from the ads and we are going to continue on. Thank you all for your patience. Ready to light this candle, Tish? Yep. Suck on this perennial ham fist. What was that?
The distraction was enough for Rollo to regain his confidence.
Just open the dang door. I've got a job to do.
The clipboard fumbled around in a frenzy.
I should check on that noise. Oh, come on. Just buzz me in already. Okay, okay. Whew. That was close. Our harvest awaits? Hey, I figure, when in doubt, stick with the classics. Well, that was a close one. You pulled it off. Nice work, Rollo. Alright, everyone knows what to do. Yep, deep engineering is to the north. I'll go with Beck. In case she needs some muscle. I'll head east to the founder's office. You two be safe. Alright. That's odd. There's not even any cups for the water. Oh. Oh no, is this a maze? Solomon?
Solomon stopped in his tracks.
Luca? What are you doing here? It's a long story. Are you okay?
A veneer of confusion flashed across Solomon's face. His words rushed out dramatically.
No, I am most certainly not okay. Some strange people grabbed me and... Were they in hazmat suits? Yes, how did you know? They brought me here and locked me up when they were distracted and I ran. Dang, okay, you should stick with me. We've got a plan.
Solomon's facade briefly faltered.
We? Yeah, Rollo and Beck are headed to deep engineering. Thank heavens you found me. We've got to get out of here. We can't leave just yet. But they'll catch us again. I've got to do something first. Wow. When you were running, did you happen to see a door marked Founder? Founder? Why are you looking for him? I'm not. I just need to get into that office. Now that you mention it, I do think I saw a door that said Founder. It was just down this way.
Luca happened to notice a plaque above the door.
Office of the Founder? Knocking comes with consequence? Oh, here it is. So it is. Pretty lucky that I ran into you or else I might have missed it. Truly fortunate.
Luca tried the handle.
Locked.
Solomon leaned forward to examine the mechanism.
Regrettably, it seems to be some sort of electric lock. I don't see how we could possibly defeat a lock like that.
Luca smiled and looked at his watch.
Let's just wait a minute. Are they gonna kill the power? I don't know what sort of funny business you're up to, but I like it.
She mimed a quick hat tip and ambled off with a whistle.
Howdy. Good afternoon.
The light on the keypad changed from red to green.
How did you do that? It's good to have friends. Quick, let's get inside before someone spots us. I forget if we had to go the way to
Luca switched on his walkie-talkie.
see him coming back in order to reach this conclusion. It's like, Luca doesn't know, but we do. Rollo, I'm in. As expected, there's a control panel. Great timing, we're stuck at a locked door marked 24601. Need you to get us through. What if someone catches us? We should get out of here. I'm not leaving my friends, Solomon.
On the computer screen, a green cursor blinked in a password field.
Surely you don't have a way to get around the password.
Luca pecked out his best guess. Underground secrets. The screen blinked to life. Columns of green numbers glowed on a black background.
hell? How did you just guess that? Oh, it's this absurd password Rollo heard when he was down here before. It's funny how someone arrogant enough to call themselves the founder uses such a basic password. Snip! Or they were thinking several moves ahead, not expecting anyone to guess something so simple. These villain types always end up outsmarting themselves.
Solomon's jaw clenched into a half smile.
Your powers of deduction are as impressive as your luck.
Luca quickly scanned the columns for number 24601.
Rollo, I think this should do it. Bingo bango, doors open. Luca, you never fail to impress. What is that slippery lout even doing down here? How are you not giving yourself away, dude? We have a friend whose mom is in trouble. We are here to get her out. I see. Okay, Luca, I think we're close. The next door is marked 13806.
Once again, Luca scrutinized the numbers on the screen. In that moment of distraction, Solomon reached forward and pressed a large red button.
Uh-oh. Maybe this one opens the lock. Oh. Crap, we've got company. Luca, must go faster. One sec, I can't think with all this
He
noise.
quickly skimmed the screen with his finger.
Here it is, 13806. Go, go, go. Curse these fumbling hands. My apologies, Luca. Yeah. Don't beat yourself up. I know you're just trying to help. Uh-huh. It's like we know better. Piece of crap. Aw, man. No water cups. Rollo. Rollo, are you okay? Rollo, come in.
Mr. Kerr approached with a sneer and spoke into his walkie-talkie.
You can turn off the alarms. They're trapped.
With self-satisfaction, he called into the hallway.
That, my dears, is a dead end. Nowhere to run. Rollo, where are you? Are you okay? Yeah, I think we lost him. Making our way back to Nellie's office. Okay, you two rabble-rousers are coming with us. Nope. Yes. Make a break for it! Deserved. And of course the clipboards stand there like idiots. Did that little crap just kick me? I'll just stand there after them. Okay, I think that worked. Roxy and Fitz have them on a wild goose chase. I'm having trouble following what just happened. Like I said, it's good to have friends. Rollo, how long do you think Roxy can distract them? How long can Roxy keep someone so pissed off they can't see straight? Let's just say we've got time. Entering Nellie's office now. Mom! Oh, honey, what did you do to your hair? I thought you'd be happy I finally used the Young Chemist Lab kit. You sure have a knack for making me incredibly proud in the most frustrating way. We need to get you out of here. We? Who is your adult friend? Oh, I'm not an adult. Ever heard of a growth spurt? I had more of a growth spew. No, that's not possible.
Nellie leaned over to examine his teeth.
Substantial banding on the enamel of the molars consistent with Tempest liquamine exposure. That what you call the gunk they forced me to drink? You drank it? Oh no. They told me it was only being tested on plants. Oh, Beck, sweetie, I promise I didn't know. Mom, what the hell is going on at this place? A lot. I was brought here to work on the discovery of a lifetime. A novel chemical compound was discovered under Beacon Pines in a wellspring they called the Source. They named it Tempest liquamine. It pulls energy from its surroundings in order to fundamentally alter matter's relationship to time. It was the secret to Valentine's fertilizer. They harvested the source, infusing small amounts of Tempest liquamine into the product. It worked wonders, drastically accelerating plant growth. Crops would be ready to harvest in a fraction of the time. But it led to complications. A foul harvest. Perennial Harvest came in to clean up the mess, to succeed where Valentine failed. But Tempest liquamine is rebellious. Rebellious? You can think of it as a manifestation of change itself. It's volatile by its very nature. Now, the more you try to force it to do a specific thing, the more it resists, yes. I can relate to that. My role was to finish the work of my predecessor, Dr. Prescott, harnessing Tempest liquamine to reliably manipulate an organism's age. Just imagine how many people we could feed. Mr. Kerr was very insistent that we achieve a successful result before today's festival. But you didn't, right?
Nellie sighed.
You know how much I love a good puzzle. I poured myself into the problem. It wasn't long until I discovered oddities in Dr. Prescott's notes. Oddities? They contained obvious errors, mistakes that someone of his reputation would never make. So I fixed them and now I get to replace my entire wardrobe. I really am truly sorry. Meh, those clothes were all hand-me-downs anyway. Sounds like Dr. Prescott figured it out, got cold feet, and intentionally sabotaged his own work. I had considered that possibility. I've sent a letter asking him to clarify his thinking. Mom, Dr. Prescott is dead. Kerr had him killed. What? I overheard them talking about it on the radio. It's why we gotta get you out of here. Like now. Wait, the vial! I finally solved the chemical equation allowing direct control of aging. Mr. Kerr picked it up just before you came. All the more reason we gotta hightail it. Luca, we've got Dr. Modewell heading your way now. Roger that, be careful. Alright, everything's on track. And what is your plan for escape? We'll go over everything when they get here. In the meantime, maybe we can dig up some more info. Oh boy. I'm also having an idea of him nicknaming himself Solomon. Like, I don't know if it's referencing the Solomon King from like the Bible, or I'm trying to remember wasn't there something in the Batman comics or the universe that was like Solomon's Pit? Or no, it was Lazarus Pit, never mind. Malice 80 proof whiskey. A hard drink for a hard man. Wow, even his alcohol is arrogant.
Solomon muttered inaudibly.
I should just smother you right now. Yeah. What's that? I said I shouldn't bother you right now. Don't be silly, you're no bother at all. Let's see what else this bad boy has on it. Security system. Time card logs. Payroll. You know, for being so evil, this guy sure is boring.
Solomon once again muttered under his breath.
Just you wait. Huh? Oh, nothing.
Luca tugged on each of the cabinets.
Dang, this must be the good stuff. They're all locked. Perhaps he's not as careless as you suspected. Huh. I see the books in that chair. Like someone that can't see over the desk has to use them to sit up. It looks like the founder was helping Kerr plan the festival. Why would such a secretive leader be obsessed with a party? Only time will tell.
Luca held his hand up to the ashtray.
Still warm. You must have been in here recently. Say, Solomon, can I smell your breath? I'm really sorry you got dragged into this mess, Solomon. You needn't worry about me. Well, I feel bad either way. We're gonna get you out of this, I promise.
With a subtle, quivering lip, a smile crawled across Solomon's face. They heard the trampling of frantic footsteps from the hallway.
Lock it, lock it, lock it! Locked. That was close. Oh, wait, is What's-Her-Face going to recognize Solomon as the founder? When we left Nellie's office, it was swarming with clipboards. We barely got away. Did they follow you? Oh. Rollo. Before we start tossing blame around. Is it possible someone ordered a pizza? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Definitely not pizza. What now? Don't look at me, I'm officially retiring from the heisting business. We're so sorry for the inconvenience. We just have a few quick questions. Just let me think. Can someone watch the door? Of course. Everyone else huddle up. Uh-huh. I think this little caper has gone on long enough. Solomon, no. Hush now, child. The adults are speaking. Wow. Dr. Modewell, a brief reintroduction is in order. We've never met in person, but we have corresponded. You see, it was I who hired you. Solomon, the pathetic orphan child, the powerful and enigmatic founder, Sharper, the fallen progenitor who created this town, Perennial Harvest, Valentine Fertilizer, all connected by a single thread, yours truly. But that's...
Her eyes searched the floor in thought. Solomon watched eagerly, waiting for the flicker of epiphany. With a sickened look, she peered into his soul.
Yes, now you've got it. Tempest Liquamine, you discovered how to reverse the process.
Solomon clapped with genuine delight.
Very good, Dr. Modewell, very good. Oh, the discovery wasn't intentional.
Solomon glanced down, examining his youthful form.
And the effects went a little too far for my tastes. That's why you needed me to finish Dr. Prescott's work. Which you did admirably. Mr. Kerr, the vial, please.
Kerr presented it with a theatrical twirl of the hand.
May I present to you the eighth
Before
wonder
he
of
could
the...
finish, Rollo snatched the vial from Kerr's palm.
Wow, this stuff sounds pretty valuable. Be careful, you fool. You have no idea what you have in your hand. Actually, we do. You just did a whole evil villain monologue thingy about it.
Rollo casually tossed the vial to Luca.
Gosh, maybe I'll have a taste.
Luca jiggled the vial mockingly.
Seize him! Luca! Over here! Move another inch and I smash it.
She held it tightly behind her back. Solomon sighed, speaking in crisp, measured syllables.
Oh no. You have no plan. I'll smash it, I swear. Fine, risk killing us all. Or if you're lucky, nothing happens, then what? We capture you and grant you much less leniency.
He pursed his lips with feigned sincerity.
But I give you my word, if you hand it over now, none of you will be harmed.
A deep uncertainty washed over Beck.
You're a smart girl, Beck. Wow. There's no shame in being outwitted by someone smarter than you. We both know there is only one way this ends.
She looked to Nellie shakily. With a dispirited nod, Nellie sighed in defeat. Beck slowly approached Solomon.
That's a good girl. Beck, don't do it. We can't trust that jerk. I'm sorry. He's right.
With apprehension, Beck conceded. Solomon pocketed the vial and brushed off his shoulder with a sharp flick.
Mr. Kerr, you have allowed yourself to be humiliated by a group of children. Report to my office tomorrow for a performance review.
The blood drained from Kerr's face.
Of course, sir. But first, you have a speech to make. Trot out there and give me the introduction I deserve. And don't forget to smile. Yes, sir. And to think all of this is thanks to the efforts of Mr. Van Horn. I don't understand. How is this all because of me? Huh, I said Mr. Van Horn, silly child. Dr. Walt Van Horn. Your father was always a thorn in my side. I offered him an opportunity to be a part of something great, but the fool was blinded by righteousness. He even broke into my laboratory in an attempt to sabotage my work.
Solomon shook his head with gratification.
But the universe has a funny way of correcting course. By meddling with a force he didn't understand, Walt showed me its true potential. As fate would have it, Luca, your father's dying act was to grant me eternal life.
A muffled applause resonated faintly through the walls.
Well, that's my cue. After the festivities and my subsequent ascension, I will return to deal with you all. Until then, I suggest you use this time to reflect on the magnitude of your failure. You three, keep post outside the door. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Well, crap. I can't believe Beck sold us out like that. I'm not sure she had any other choice. So what now? What's the plan? I don't have one. Of course you do. You always have a plan. Rollo, you just need some time. Rollo, it's over. We lost.
Nellie was staring at the floor, deep in thought.
Sorry, Luca. Give me a minute to calm my mind. Hey. I'm sorry, Luca. I did what I had to do. I know, it's just, we were so close. I've got a feeling that eventually Solomon will get what's coming to him. Time wounds, all heals. Oh, the writing in this game. Instead of time heals all wounds, time wounds all heals. Ha. Well, time seems like less of an issue for him now. Luca, there's something you should know. After Mr. Kerr locked me in that office, I had nothing but time and curiosity. I poked around a bit, hoping to find a means of escape, but I found something else. A note, hidden in a false drawer. What sort of note? Dr. Prescott must have sensed his time at Perennial Harvest was growing short, so he left behind a letter with the hope it would be found by his successor. It was a confession of sorts. He left it for me, but its contents... Luca, I think they were meant for you. Why? What did it say? It was about an incident with your mother. Dr. Prescott found her in his lab with a stolen keycard. There was an accident. She had been exposed to extreme amounts of Tempest liquamine.
The color dropped from Luca's face.
She survived. Dr. Prescott decided to help her recover. He no longer trusted Perennial Harvest, so he kept her whereabouts a secret. Over time, your mother led him to reconsider the purpose of scientific discovery. Science is often at the vanguard of change, but that doesn't mean it's always right. He realized that no one should have control over something as powerful as time itself. I now believe that's why he began to intentionally sabotage his own work. And it cost him his life. That's a reasonable conclusion.
Luca was overwhelmed with emotion.
But if she's alive, where has she been? Where is she now?
A sudden explosion sounded from the hull.
Oh no, she enacted the thing.
Chapter 8, Comeuppance. Ears still ringing, Gran picked herself up off the ground. Through the dust and smoke, she looked over to see Mrs. Fratelli helping Hiram Tolliver to his feet. She'd had to beg, borrow, and steal to acquire those explosives. How many nights had she spent visualizing how she'd use them to make things right? And now, her one shot at destroying the source, that damned hole that swallowed so much of her life, was gone. Traded for this jagged hole in a wall and a foolhardy shot at rescuing Rollo. With Fratelli and Tolliver at her side, she stepped through. It was a strange feeling. The last time she'd stalked this maze of hallways, it was in a different body. They quickly rounded a corner to find a group of clipboards guarding a door. Something worth guarding is probably something worth seeing. She leapt forward, brandishing her cane. If her last chance at vengeance for things lost was truly gone, she would just have to fight to keep what she still had.
Oh my gosh. Gran, what are you doing here? Luca, what are you doing here? We're here to save Nellie. We're here to save Rollo. Hey, Mrs. Lucas Gran. That's awful nice of you, but I'm fine. Oh no, what did they? Gran, there's no time to explain. We have to go now. Come on, everyone, we've got a party to crash.
They made their way out from deep within Perennial Harvest, just as Solomon finished up his speech.
Thankfully, we can dispense with formalities from here on out.
Solomon pulled a glass vial from his pocket.
We've got to stop him.
In one smooth motion, he downed its contents.
Well,
A triumphant smile grew across Solomon's lips.
no! Well, I guess that's it. We lost. I wouldn't be so sure about that.
With a mischievous look, Beck elbowed Luca. Remember when I had the vial behind my back?
She did something to it?
I might have tweaked his wonder potion with a little junk.
Can't wait to see the look on his face when he realizes he drank his own cigar ash. How did ashes get into the vial? It was pretty easy to mess with the vial when it was behind my back. Oh, that's sneaky. Well, it's a bad habit anyways. I always said 50 bad habits are like 50-yard field goals. Huh? Hard to kick. You can all call me Sharper
His
Valentine.
body and face began to contort and expand as he disappeared into a belching green mist.
Did he turn him old? Oh. Well, that's one way to kick a bad habit. Dang.
As the last of what was once Sharper Valentine wafted into the air, the crowd began to disperse, still numb from what they had just observed. Sharper Valentine was gone for good. His end would be a new beginning for Beacon Pines, a new chance to let go of the things they had lost and grab hold of a new future. The end.
Wait.
Well, I'd be lying if I said that wasn't a bit gratifying. If that feels to you like a good note to end on, I won't stand in your way.
We want to see this through to the end.
I might have tweaked his wonder potion with a little change.
The, like, pocket change? Your unlucky penny! Yeah, I plopped it in the vial when no one was looking. What's that going to do? No idea, that's the beauty of science. Now we observe.
His body and face began to contort and expand as he disappeared into a belching green mist.
Holy crap, he's a baby? Yeah, but he's still Sharper, right? What he was no longer matters. This is an innocent child. I apologize for all the harm my father has caused you.
Eris awkwardly cradled the squirming child. She looked to her brother, her voice shaking with uncertainty.
Augustus, what do we do what Valentines always do. What must be done. I'll hurry home and prepare a crib for father, or younger Sharper. That would be a great help. Thank you.
She looked back down at the infant with equal parts kindness and terror in her eyes. With a shake of her head, Eris addressed the crowd with a stern scowl.
Okay, everyone, the show is over. You may leave now.
Epilogue.
What?
Beacon Pines' coldest summer on record came and went without much fanfare. Folks shared what they had and none were left wanting. The new school year was ushered in by the falling leaves of autumn. After everything Luca, Rollo, and Beck had been through, middle school was bearable. The chill of winter didn't seem to bother people much. They kindled a hope for a better future in their hearts. When spring arrived, farmers planted their crops with a sense of joy and optimism. And as the dawn of the first day of summer came again, its light slowly spread through the shallow valley. It crept over the town square, across the river, past the neglected welcome sign, and came to rest on a young boy sleeping at dawn, his mind at peace, knowing he is here for a reason.
What the heck? So, wait, is this the, like... I don't know if this feels like the true ending. Like this... Hang on. I try not to see. Heck? How do you get the true ending? I don't think this is it. Of course, everybody has videos and such. Hang on. I mean, we'll still see what happens, but come this far, I kind of want to see the true ending. I'm assuming I would have to do it with something else. Or is it? Okay. I'll let this play out and we'll see. I'm a long way. Check in with Rolo at the treehouse. Okay. Oh. I heard you and Rolo have big plans for that little treehouse. Yeah, it started getting crowded after we revoked the max capacity 1 Rolo, 1 Luca rule. So we decided to expand. At least we got some help with that. How's the internship at Nellie and Ilona's shop going? It's been great. I'm hoping it helps me get into the School of Agriculture set up at State. Also, Nellie said she'd write me a letter of recommendation, which would be huge. I just can't help but worry about leaving Rolo. He's grown up so fast, but he's still my little brother. Yeah, he had a heck of a growth spurt. I don't just mean grow, literally. This morning he was up and finished his chores before I even had breakfast. Well, some of that might be his excitement about the treehouse renovations. Don't tell him this, because it'll go to his head, but I'm really proud of that little punk. I'm sure he feels the same way, but he's just too dang proud to tell you. I know. Yeah. Oh wow, he actually looks happy. Hey Gus, how's the tree planting going? Couldn't be better. I'm so grateful to Ilona and Nellie for letting me help. I just wasn't built to be a mayor. Too much bureaucracy. Gus, we finished cleaning up the sidewalks. What's next?
When Perennial Harvest collapsed, most of the clipboards skipped town. But some stuck around and dedicated themselves to making things right.
Anyone with a knack for art can help paint the new offices. You can count on us. Well, it looks like you really found your calling. I never really felt comfortable telling people what to do. Now this right here. This is something I can be proud of. Slow and dirty harvest. Aw. How's the napping this morning? The most underrated part of a good nap is the view. And the view's getting greener every day. Nice. I see you decided on a name. Yep, we had to clear out all the old stuff before putting on the final touch. Slow and Dirty Harvest is now official. I like it. It was really Nellie's idea. There's still a lot of work to do and the name serves as a reminder. Just because progress is important doesn't mean change should happen fast. In fact, I've learned that the more you care about something, the more important it is to take things slow. Our motto is go slow and fix things. Amen to that. Okay, I better not dilly-dally. Gotta get to the treehouse. Luca, get this. I managed to reel in an actual fish this morning. Seriously? Yeah, an honest-to-goodness flip-flopping, swim-swamming fish. I don't think I've ever caught an actual fish here. At least 7 years since I've caught one. I'd say it's a good omen. What do you do with the fish? Well, I released it back into the pond. Hoping to catch it again tomorrow. Oh, a little higher. Yep. Little lower. Yep. Little higher. Yep. I'm telling you, the angle isn't the issue. We need more power to the radio. Luca, there you are. Did you tell him it's not the angle? Hey, I'm not in charge of the antenna redesign. Fine, fine. Iggy, just don't do anything drastic until we get back. Who, me? Tish, you're in charge while I'm gone. Yep. They'll be fine, right? It'll be fine. We really want mission control to turn into something bigger and better. We have to loosen our grip a bit. You're right. Lead the way. Alright. Gonna go find Beck. This is pretty nice. Oh, hi. Young Mr. Van Horn. How's little Solomon or Sharper doing? Young Sharper seems to enjoy nature more than I. So we do a lot of strolling these days. Has he, you know, attempted to crawl out of his crib and plot world domination? Yeah. Thankfully, no. I spoke at length with Dr. Modwell, and she feels that Sharper's infant mind was not developed enough to retain his previous memories. For all intents and purposes, the child is unmolded clay. Let's hope he's a little nicer the second time around. That is the objective, yes. But really, all I can do is try and hope. The activities I'm endeavoring to find less distasteful. I think you're doing a great job. And the whole town is ready to help out however we can. I can't wait to teach him to throw a baseball.
Eris did her best to ignore the tears welling in her eyes.
That would be acceptable. What's today's news that needs knowing? I'll give you tomorrow's headline today. Our old friend Patrick C. Montesquieu, aka William Kerr, just performed a stirring rendition of The Iceman Cometh at the State Correctional Facility. I hear there wasn't a dry eye in the house. Well, I guess he has plenty of time to work on the craft. Well. He looked to his friends with a thankful smile, and after everything that could have gone wrong, everything that did go wrong, we made it. The end.
Closing her eyes, Miss Hatch took a deep, relaxing breath.
Oh, hello, Luca. How are you? Really good, actually. That's wonderful. Did I miss anything? I think you're pretty much up to speed. Oh, look at the bunnies. Hey, Mr. Nuncreed. I'm gonna go see my dad in a bit. Did you want to come with? Even after everything I did, you'd still...
Mr. Nuncreed shook his head.
You really are your father's son, aren't you? I don't think I'm ready for that yet. Well, you're always invited. I'd bet he'd love to hear from you. I'll visit Walt in my own time. You run along now. What you up to?
With perennial harvest gone, the transportation tubes were left unused.
Come one, come all. No one is too big, no one is too small for Jeff's wild ride.
Maybe not completely unused.
Just one piece of candy for the ride of your life. Who's next? I like how they're repurposing. Guess what? Yesterday I saw Dynastus Tidius. And that's good? It's great! I haven't spotted one of those in years. At this rate, Beacon Pines is going to become the bug capital of the county. So life is returning. That's actually good news. I have news I think you'll enjoy. This morning I unpacked my last box. You're officially moved in. It's just a box. Let's not blow this out of proportion. It sounds an awful like putting down roots. I guess I decided this place is root-worthy. You're gonna be stuck with me for the foreseeable future. I do have to warn you, most years aren't going to be as interesting as this one. I think I'll manage. Ready? Before we go, there's a bit of a surprise. A tree? Is it the tree? Like the real tree? My mom's prepared this tree especially for you. They didn't have to do that. It wasn't just them. Just about the whole town pitched in. We all owe you. It should do okay in the cold of old Beacon Pines and thrive as things warm up. That's perfect. Oh. Okay, I think this is like the real ending. It's good. That's so sweet though. That they got him like a tree that used to be there. Ah, you got it. Now that's a good looking tree. Being a special occasion and whatnot, this ride's on the house. You're gonna want to hang on tight to that little tree.
I think this is it. The end I've been waiting for.
Okay, true end.
Honestly, I began to lose hope of ever finding it. But then you came along. I don't know exactly how to thank you. It's hard to explain how much this means to me. It's funny, now that our time together is finally ending. I'm at a loss for words. Let's just watch the end together.
Done. A good little tree. It's like I was starting to get a little welling up, but then it's like something literally got in my eye. The best little tree. Thank you, children. This means a lot. Yeah, thanks for everything. Shucks, I only did what any super awesome best buddy would have done. We should probably give you some time alone now. You good? Yeah, I am. It's been a wild year. How are you feeling? Everyone keeps asking me that. I'm fine, really. Pa always says the same only thing fitter than a fiddle is a cello. I feel like a dang cello. Well, if you ever stop feeling like a cello, I'm here for you. I know, you don't even have to say it. You two make an awesome pair. Excuse me? We're a trio now. Yep. Thanks. There's just one thing missing now that you're part of our group. Missing? Let me tell you a little story about a man named Hank Atomic. Oh gosh. I won't be long. I'll be waiting for you back at the phone booth. I found the perfect way to start our summer. You've got some good friends. I'm so proud of you. Your father would be so proud. I know. Can I ask you a question? Do you ever dream about Dad? Not a night goes by that I don't. Are you ever afraid that you're gonna forget him? Forget what he looked like? Forget his voice? No, because so much of him lives on in you. He loved that old tree, but I know he would have loved this one more. Because his two favorite people planted it. I'll give you two a moment. Aww. And so we saved the town. And whatever's gonna happen to this place, it's gonna... I guess like they said, it's gonna warm up and return back to how it was. They actually did save the town and the world. Hey, Dad. Dr. Modwell says that over the next few years, this place should warm up. So you won't have to be so cold for much longer. I think I finally understand why you left that night. There were things you believed in. Big things. Those beliefs were the things that made you, you. You wouldn't have stood up to Sharper, stood up for what you believed in. You wouldn't have been the same person anymore. You had to go. But that didn't mean you loved us any less. I might not visit you as much as I used to. I know you understand. Aww. Wow. That was it? So we really did reach the true end after an afternoon and evening of so many bad ends, I guess, or other endings. Like, this game had a lot of endings, but we reached the end of the true ending. Wow. This was so good, though. Like, man, I love the writing. I love the look of it. The music is good. Plot twists are really good, too. Like, man. Like, I know one of the things I looked up when I was kind of researching this game was, like, what's it... I didn't look up the ESRB rating, because obviously I didn't know it was going to have curse words and other stuff in it. But, I remember some of the questions where it's like, is this appropriate for children? And I guess I didn't read those because I didn't understand. But again, the humor was good, the plot twists were good, there was good emotion, there was a lot of like cute moments, and just, I mean, ways of like being a 12-year-old, like being kids again and wanting to be, you know, just kids, but then having to have this whole plot and uncover and do, again, what kids wanted to do. They wanted to have adventures, they wanted to investigate, they wanted to be heroes, they wanted to just do what they thought was right. What they thought they could do, but man, I kind of want to go back and see what the other endings were going to be, because I think they said that there were like 13 different endings, 11 or 13 different endings. But it is 9 o'clock my time. We've been going over 8 hours. I had a snack, but man, this has been such a good game though, and I hope you all have enjoyed it as well, because man, I'm really glad we decided to play it, even though we were taking our time with it and all that. I didn't see, but I'm imagining that these are backers and such. I don't know. Oh, man. Yeah, nothing more I could really say. It's like, I really enjoyed it. I'll have to write this down in my journal as one of the good games of October that we played. Like, even though it was longer and I probably could have divvied it up, I just wasn't sure, because even though when I looked up how long to beat, it kept saying like 5 to 6 hours, but I'm guessing that's if you knew the exact path. Or I mean, it probably could have been shorter, especially if you were speeding through text and all that. Like trying to get achievements and things like that, so, man. But this was good. Yeah, I mean, since we got the true end, I think we will leave it there. We'll see if there's anything else after this, I guess. I was just going through the credits. But yeah, I mean, if you enjoyed yourself, I do hope you will give us a follow, whether you're here on Twitch or on YouTube, of course. I'm just happy we decided to do something new. I mean, we're going to be doing some other new stuff coming up, of course. I wanted to finish this tonight as well, because I had already planned on doing another new game that was brought to my attention this week called 5 Days a Stranger. And it's supposed to be like it's supposed to be a short, interesting tale and such, so we'll see. But that is going to be for tomorrow night, and if we enjoy that, then we might check out the other games, because supposedly there's like 4 games in that series, where it's like 5 Days a Stranger, 7 Days a Skeptic, Trilby's Notes, and then 6 Days a Sacrifice or something like that. It's interesting. Alright, let's see if there's anything else. Nope. I guess that is it. Coming back here. Oh. Huh. Oh! You can see all... I guess you can go back and test, like, everything else that you wanted to. I don't know if... Like, this kind of looks like it was supposed to be... something, but I guess it's like three different branches and such. Okay, real quick, just to be thorough, let me see. Let's just see about this. Because maybe if this is the end? Malice.
I might have tweaked his wonder potion with a little malice.
I just want to see if this is all. Malice, the whiskey from his office? Yep, dude had an unfinished glass on his desk. Man, she is quick. Figured his grow juice could use a little hair of the dog.
His body and face began.
Already seen that. Now that's what I call 80 poof whiskey. Dang, dude. We got an achievement. Oh my gosh.
The crowd gazed in stunned silence at the now empty stage. The quiet was broken when William Kerr sprinted off stage and into the distance. He was never seen around Beacon Pines, or anywhere else for that matter, again. Watching the silhouette of Kerr disappear over the horizon, Luca began to laugh. First, a low chuckle that became uncontrolled, heaving laughter. Through his tears, he was vaguely aware that the crowd had begun to laugh with him. The end. That was unexpected. Perhaps a bit of an absurd ending for my taste, but who am I to say? I'm only writing the damn thing.
Ah. So yeah, the true ending was to put a little change in it, the unlucky penny. But it's nice that they let you, like, come back and see these things. So I don't know if there's supposed to be any other items you're supposed to get. I mean, we know what the funniest charm is out of this whole thing, of course. But yeah. So yeah. That was interesting, I guess, at least to go back and see it done so quickly. But yeah. That was it. Okay. But yeah. But that is where we're going to call it. Again, it has been a long day. But I am, again, glad that we finished this. For sure. This will probably be split into 2 parts on YouTube because 8 hours is a lot for anybody to take on. But for now, we will say thank you everyone so much for watching, whether you lurked or chatted. I appreciate all of you enjoying this, whether you're in Twitch chat or in YouTube. Shoutouts to you guys as well. But yeah, if you enjoyed it, I do encourage you to check it out for yourself if you saw bits and pieces of it. I know we actually had one of our community members that said they went and got the game because of how interesting it looked. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It'll probably go on my list of games we enjoyed for 2023. And we'll just look forward to the next one, which again will be 5 Days a 5 Days a Stranger tomorrow, of course, and more other spoopy games in the future. But for now, I hope you all have a lovely day or evening, wherever you are in the world, and I hope I'll see you all again soon. Okay. What reason? Yeah, take care, everyone.